Chapter 3998. Chapter 3998. A Spiritual Saint 2. Chapter 3998. A Spiritual Saint 2. Jing Bao stared at Jing Jia with a livid face. He was supposed to be the Lord's most trusted man, but before Feng Wu knew it, Jing Bao already hated her. But he can't make a breakthrough to the spiritual saint stage. Jing Bao smirked. Jing Bao wasn't the only one. The other two shook their heads as well, saying that Jing Wei was making things up. Meanwhile, Feng Wu wasn't so sure either. She had been using the spiritual liquid of the Zhenwu Empire for her cultivation. The spiritual liquid of the Dongseng Kingdom was fundamentally different from that of the Zhenwu Empire, and Feng Wu was worried that it would make her cultivation less efficient. However, when she really started cultivating, she realized that the magical soul vine would filter the energy of the Dongseng Kingdom and provide her with a pure spiritual essence. That only made it easier for Feng Wu. Feng Wu had been making rapid breakthroughs before, so she thought that she could improve her cultivation level a little. However, she didn't expect to make any breakthroughs for the time being. However, with the help of the magical soul vine, Feng Wu could sense her spiritual essence rising. And the speed was uncontrollable. Seriously, Feng Wu couldn't believe that she could become a spiritual saint just by saying that she wanted to make a breakthrough. Everyone wanted to become a spiritual saint. Once she made a breakthrough, with Feng Wu's talent, she would be able to walk freely in the Dongseng Kingdom. At that thought, Feng Wu grew excited. The agitation backfired on her spiritual essence. Cough, cough. Feng Wu coughed violently. The spiritual essence around her was disturbed as well. After sensing the chaotic spiritual essence fluctuation in the room next door, Lord Jean looked disappointed and heaved a sigh. It seemed that his guard wouldn't make it. However, he didn't expect to succeed, so he wasn't too disappointed. Jing Wei was only a test subject. What he didn't know was, meanwhile, Feng Wu was rapidly absorbing the spiritual essence in the spiritual liquid. The water had barely reached her chin when she sat down, but now, the level of the spiritual liquid was falling at an unbelievable speed. It dropped from Feng Wu's neck to her shoulders, then to her waist. Feng Wu could sense that she had become a spiritual saint, but it wasn't enough. She was still absorbing the spiritual essence. Feng Wu panicked a little. It wasn't a bad idea to make breakthroughs so fast. However, she then recalled that after obtaining the vast essence pill from her sick senior brother, her physical fitness had been enhanced. Maybe this time, she would be able to make a breakthrough. Here in Donglin City, the more capable she was, the better. Hence, Feng Wu gritted her teeth and started absorbing the spiritual essence again. The magical soul vine absorbed all the impurities when the spiritual essence went through it, and the appropriate concentration was transferred to Feng Wu's dantian. The spiritual essence then flowed through her body over and over again. The stagnant spiritual liquid decreased again. It dropped from Feng Wu's belly all the way to her legs until the pool was empty, but still wasn't enough. She was so close. The floor of the spiritual liquid pool was made of spiritual bricks as well, and the spirit stones on the shelf that hadn't been purified yet. Feng Wu's frantic power drained them all. Chapter 3999. Chapter 3999. A Spiritual Saint 3. Chapter 3999. A Spiritual Saint 3. Rumble. The familiar sound of a breakthrough rang out again. Feng Wu almost jumped her feet. A level 2 spiritual saint. She had just become a level 2 spiritual saint. Feng Wu was so excited that she was almost in tears. God was so kind to her. He had given her the power she desperately needed when she needed it the most. A level 2 spiritual saint. Feng Wu was invincible among her peers and could defeat opponents of a higher cultivation level. Now, she could fight a junior spiritual saint. How amazing! The noise was so loud that Lord Jing rushed in, and what he saw was, Feng Wu stood in the spiritual liquid pool and was surrounded by a mess. No, there was no spiritual liquid pool. The spiritual liquid had dried up, and even the bricks and piles of spirit stones on the ground had turned into white powder. You? Lord Jing stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. You? Feng Wu opened her eyes as well and saw what was going on. One look, and she knew that things were getting out of hand. Feng Wu cleared her throat. Lord Jing stared at Feng Wu. Don't tell me that you're a level I spiritual saint now. Level I spiritual saint? What was that? She was a level 2 spiritual saint now. On second thought, Feng Wu realized that she had to do a lot of things in secret from now on, so she decided that she shouldn't reveal her real capability to Lord Jing. She had to keep a card up her sleeves. At that thought, Feng Wu nodded and said, "Yes, I'm a level I spiritual saint now." Lord Jing was baffled. He couldn't understand how the guard could have succeeded. That wasn't possible. Why should I believe you? Lord Jing frowned. Feng Wu opened her palm, and a streak of sword energy flew unhurriedly toward Lord Jing. Lord Jing observed it. It was indeed the spiritual essence of a level I spiritual saint. Before Lord Jing could react, Feng Wu bowed and said, "My lord, this pool of spiritual liquid and these spirit stones are all my fault." Lord Jing had been elated, but hearing Feng Wu's question, he shifted his attention to that subject as well. He looked around. What a mess. This was his cultivation room, and he had spent a lot of time and effort preparing all the materials that would enable him to rise from a level I spiritual saint to a level 2-1. Who would have thought? Lord Jing wanted to flare up, but he couldn't. He only stood there with a grim face. Feng Wu put on a pitiful, trembling face. Seeing that a level I spiritual saint was so intimidated by him, Lord Jing was appeased. He feigned a magnanimous tone and patted Feng Wu on the shoulder. "I'm so glad that you've made a breakthrough. That's the most important thing now. I'll get everything ready later." Feng Wu said excitedly, "Thank you, my lord. I promise I'll do my best for you from now on." Lord Jing nodded and liked Feng Wu even more. He had really made a breakthrough, although Lord Jing had lost a lot of treasures in the process. The spiritual liquid inside cost him almost half of the wealth of the Jing Manor. However, it was still worthwhile to have a level I spiritual saint as a subordinate. At that thought, Lord Jing said indifferently, "Fine, follow me out." He had to show off. Chapter 4000, Chapter 4000, My Spiritual Saint Guard 1. Chapter 4000, My Spiritual Saint Guard 1. Lord Jing was ready to show off. The guard had used up a lot of his spiritual liquid. The thought made Lord Jing's stomach lurch, but he could only feign a happy face. What else could he do? Reprimand the guard and drive him away? He was a rare spiritual saint now. Lord Jing smiled reluctantly and patted Feng Wu on the shoulder. Feng Wu wanted to laugh whenever she thought about what was really going on in Lord Jing's head, but she fought back her laughter and said respectfully, "My lord, I'm borrowing your spiritual liquid, and I'm going to sell my life to you. You can use it however you want. I'll pay you back." That cheered Lord Jing up. The spiritual liquid was a dead thing, but a person wasn't. Lord Jing could enslave a spiritual saint for the rest of his life. That was a sweet deal. At that thought, Lord Jing nodded with a smile. "Good, very good." When they came out, they ran into the other 3 guards. Jing Bao's face darkened when he saw Lord Jing come out of the study with Jing Wei. It had always been his duty to follow Lord Jing around alone. Since when was it the 3rd guard's turn? He threw a dirty look at Jing Wei. Just wait when Lord Jing was gone. Just then, Lord Jing looked up and saw Jing Bao. He smiled at the latter before heading for the bedchamber. Jing Bao stopped Feng Wu with a ferocious look in his eyes. By the way, Lord Jing turned around and glanced at Jing Bao. "Raise his pay level to the same as you." A promotion. Although Jing Bao was a guard, he was a powerful spiritual saint, so he had his own courtyard cultivation room. But why could Jing Wei have them as well? Lord Jing left without giving an explanation. However, Jing Bao only stared at Feng Wu. Why? Feng Wu wasn't intimidated by the fierce look in his eyes at all. All she could think of was what she could do with his rage. "Why?" Jing Bao grabbed Feng Wu by the collar, and blue veins popped on his face. Feng Wu rolled her eyes and knew what to do. Lord Jing, did he think his life would be so easy? She wanted to destroy the Jing manor first. Feng Wu frowned a little. Put me down first. Of course, Jing Bao wouldn't do that. However, Feng Wu reached out and grabbed his arm. The pain made Jing Bao stare at Feng Wu in bewilderment. How is that possible? He gritted his teeth and asked angrily. He thought he knew how capable Jing Wei was slash. You're just a level 9 spiritual overlord. Why? Feng Wu tightened her grip. Jing Bao felt that his entire arm had gone numb. He exerted all his strength, and blue veins popped all over his body. Jing Jia and Jing Guo were both anxious, but there was nothing they could do. They stared at Feng Wu in astonishment as well. Jing Wei should be a level 9 spiritual overlord, but why couldn't Jing Bao, a junior spiritual saint, defeat him? To their further astonishment, the next second, Feng Wu threw Jing Bao's hand off. Just like that. The contrast between their power was obvious. Aren't you a level 9 spiritual overlord? Jing Bao stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. Chapter 4001. Chapter 4001. My Spiritual Saint Guard 2. Chapter 4001. My Spiritual Saint Guard 2. Aren't you a level 9 spiritual overlord? Jing Bao stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. Feng Wu glanced at him. A level 9 spiritual overlord? I'm not one anymore. Jing Bao looked as if he knew what was going on. Meanwhile, the other 2 guards were also staring at him in astonishment. Jing Jia, the second best guard, said, You were a level 9 spiritual overlord before you went in with the Lord because you said you wanted to become a spiritual saint. How could you? The spiritual saint stage. Although a levelized spiritual saint and a level 9 spiritual overlord were only 1 level apart. The difference was like heaven and earth. How did you do it? Why did you make a breakthrough? Jing Bao pressed. Feng Wu already had a plan. Hence, she put on an innocent face and said, I didn't do it. How could I possibly do it? Jing Bao asked again. How did you do it then? Feng Wu said, Well that. Jing Bao bellowed. Speak. Feng Wu said, Actually, I really have to thank Lord Jing. If he hadn't prepared so many spiritual liquid and spiritual stones, or if he hadn't taught me in person, I might not become a spiritual saint for the rest of my life. I'll stay loyal to him forever. Jing Bao only heard the first half of what Feng Wu said. Why is Lord Jing so nice to you? Why did he prepare so much spiritual liquid for you? And why did he give you instructions himself? Jing Bao stared at Feng Wu. Lord Jing had never given him any instructions when he made his breakthrough, nor had he provided him with any spiritual liquid. Jing Bao couldn't stand it anymore. That was Feng Wu's plan. She wanted to make Jing Bao feel mistreated. Most people had similar feelings. They wouldn't have thought much of it if Lord Jing hadn't given anyone the spiritual liquid, but Feng Wu was playing Jing Wei, who had gained Lord Jing's favor. Moreover, she looked so innocent and matter-of-fact, which only made Jing Bao angrier. Feng Wu knew how resentful Jing Bao felt, for she knew that he had spent all the wealth he had accumulated over the years to become a spiritual saint. Moreover, he had owed a lot of money. He wanted to find an explanation that he could accept, but Feng Wu was doing it on purpose to upset him, and he wasn't going to get what he wanted. She was here to stir up trouble. Feng Wu looked perfectly innocent. Debt? No, I don't have any. Lord Jing told me to relax and work on my cultivation. If I have a chance to make a breakthrough, he'll help me. Jing Bao clenched his fists in frustration. Feng Wu sighed. I've absorbed all the spiritual liquid in the secret room of Lord Jing's study. Captain, I'm afraid you'll have to prepare more for me. Jing Bao was astonished. He had extracted the liquid from the spiritual stones himself, and had to work for a whole year to finish it. But you've used it all, Feng Wu said guiltily. That's right. I'm so sorry. Jing Bao's face turned livid. He threw a dirty look at Feng Wu and smirked. If that's the case, I'd like to see how capable you are now that you've absorbed so much spiritual essence. Bring it on. The third best guard had also risen to the spiritual saint stage, and Jing Bao still needed to demonstrate his ability. Chapter 4002. Chapter 4002. My Spiritual Saint Guard 3. Chapter 4002. My Spiritual Saint Guard 3. Feng Wu looked terrified and waved her hands repeatedly. Of course, you're the best. You're the best. However, the look on her face infuriated Jing Bao again. The captain said angrily, "Shut up and fight me." Feng Wu waved her hands repeatedly. "No, of course not. I'm not your match." Without another word, the captain struck down at Feng Wu. Thump! They exchanged blows. "Captain, please forgive him." Jing Jia had always been on friendly terms with Jing Bao. He felt that even if Jing Wei had become a spiritual saint, he had only just become one. There was no way that he could be as capable as the captain of the guards. He tried to plead for mercy, but the captain stumbled back before he could finish. However, Jing Wei remained on his spot. Shocked, Jing Bao stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. Jing Wei. Feng Wu's aim now was to enrage Jing Bao, so she put on an innocent face. I didn't mean to." Jing Bao was furious. Again, as he spoke, he drew out the sword on his back. Feng Wu waved her hands in a hurry. "Don't get serious. You really can't." However, Feng Wu still drew out her sword in the end. Jing Bao's sword was soon broken. The two onlookers were speechless. Of Connor _ he wouldn't give an _ hilt, he also knew that Ting Wei was already more capable than him. Damn it, just wait and see. Sensing that he had lost his authority, he pointed at Feng Wu and stormed off after that. Jinghua glanced at Feng Wu and quickly followed the captain. Meanwhile, Jing Jia looked at Feng Wu in astonishment. You've already surpassed the captain?" Feng Wu shrugged, pretending that she didn't know what was going on either. "I don't know why this is happening. I think it's all thanks to Lord Jing." The captain, who had yet to leave Feng Wu's sight, was so angry that he almost fainted. "Captain!" Jinghua looked concerned. Jing Bao couldn't take it anymore. Why? Why did that happen? He's a guard, but so am I. I'm a captain of the guards. Why did Lord Jing only give him pointers, and why was he the only one getting the liquid? And there's more to it. It's not as simple as it seems. Lord Jing is only a level I spiritual saint. What can he possibly teach? Can he make someone more capable than him? So, Lord Jing must have given Jing Wei something precious. He was filled with resentment toward Lord Jing. Normally, he wouldn't do this. Even if he wanted to vent his anger on the Lord, he would do it when no one was around. However, Feng Wu had really pissed him off this time. He had no idea that Feng Wu was doing this on purpose. Feng Wu had everything under control, and he would be furious if he knew that. "I won't accept this." Jing Bao clenched his fists. Jinghua wouldn't accept it either. Jing Wei used to be the weakest of the four guards. Although Jinghua was the fourth, he was slightly more capable than Jing Wei. He had defeated the latter in the previous competition. But Lord Jing was so biased now. Chapter 4003. Chapter 4003. Jean Tianyi the Young Prince 1. Chapter 4003. Jean Tianyi the Young Prince 1. Jing Bao glanced at Jinghua. "You're much more capable and talented than Jing Wei. If you can use that pool of liquid, you'll be more accomplished and capable than Jing Wei. But Lord Jing only favors Jing Wei." Jinghua clenched his fists and was filled with hatred. Jing Bao still wouldn't let it drop. "I'll go to reason with Lord Jing. I'm coming with you." Jinghua quickly followed her. The captain wasn't so direct when he met Lord Jing. He was more tactful. Lord Jing said, "Really? Do you mean Jing Wei? Ha, he's a good kid. He's talented and has a good temperament. As the captain of the guards, you have to treat him well. Don't pick on him. Got it?" The captain was speechless. Lord Jing asked, "Anything else?" Despite his resentment, the captain shook his head. Lord Jing waved at them. "All right, you can leave now." Jing Bao and Jinghua left the room, closing the door behind them. Jinghua was the younger one and couldn't control his temper. "I can tell that Lord Jing is biased toward him." Jing Bao remained silent with a livid face. "Boss, Lord Jing is completely on his side now, and he's as capable as you are. Your position as the captain, Jinghua glanced at Jing Bao as he spoke. Jing Bao glared at him, and Jinghua immediately stopped talking. Jing Bao went back to his room and wrote a letter. What Jing Bao didn't know was that Jing Wei already knew his secret, but he didn't dare to tell anyone before. Feng Wu used the truth serum, and Jing Wei revealed everything. As it turned out, the captain of the guards was a pawn that the king had put in Lord Jing's residence. Meanwhile, Feng Wu, she left the courtyard and pretended to take a walk. Soon, she ran into Jing Tianyi, Lord Jing's son. He was the only son of Lord Jing, so of course, Lord Jing doted on him. Hence, he gave his son a name that meant he was at the top of the world. Needless to say, Feng Wu had learned about Jing Tianyi from Jing Wei. No one knew what Feng Wu was going to do in Donglin City. No one knew how much trouble the Dongxing Kingdom would have because of the girl. Right now, the teenage girl was walking around the manor in disguise as a capable guard of the Jing Manor. A colorful bird was flying in the sky. Needless to say, it was little Phoenix. "Give me my bow, now." Under the moonlight, a chubby 7-year-old was shouting in excitement. When he was playing in the garden, a bird pecked at him. Not only that, but it had also peed on his head. Infuriated, Jing Tianyi shouted, "Shoot the bird down, now." The young prince had 4 guards with him. Although they weren't spiritual saints, they were still peak spiritual overlords. That was to say, the Dongxing Kingdom had more capable cultivators than the Zhenwu Empire. One of them ran back to find the young prince's bow, while the other 3 went to catch little Phoenix. Little Phoenix was as capable as they were. Chapter 4004. Chapter 4004. Jing Tianyi the Young Prince 2. Chapter 4004. Jing Tianyi the Young Prince 2. It had been there when Feng Wu became a spiritual saint, and it was so close that it could make the breakthrough at any moment. It had been cultivated in seclusion to make a breakthrough, but Feng Wu had brought it here to play the part. "Catch it, now." Jing Tianyi stomped his foot anxiously, and his round body looked like a ball. Lord Jing doted on the boy and would do anything to please his son. He would spare no effort to provide him with the best things in the world. Hence, the 4 guards didn't dare to defy the young lord's order. They all tried their best to catch little Phoenix. Little Phoenix led the 3 guards around the manor as if it were playing hide and seek. Of course, Feng Wu wouldn't do anything. She hid in the dark, for it was a very important part of her plan. Jing Bao, the captain of the guards, and Jing Tianyi, the younger prince, were her pawns. Little Phoenix flew around in circles and soon arrived at Jing Bao's courtyard. Just then, little Phoenix spotted a white pigeon and flew in that direction. "You sure know where you're going." Grabbing his bow, the young prince tried to shoot the bird. Little Phoenix flew away, but the white pigeon was hit. The arrow pierced through the pigeon, and it was dead before it hit the ground. The young prince didn't even look at the pigeon. He was going to chase little Phoenix, but to his surprise, the bird with the colorful tail was gone. "It's gone? How? Why is it gone? Did I give it permission?" The young prince shouted arrogantly. "Find it. Everyone, find this bird, or I'll kill you," the young prince said angrily. Just then, the young prince's favorite guard picked up the pigeon. "Wait," he cried out. "My lord, that's a messenger pigeon, and it has a letter tube tied to its leg." After that, he handed the bamboo tube to the young prince. He was so excited because this discovery might atone for his crime. The young prince was a child and could be easily distracted, so if they changed the subject, maybe the younger prince would. But the young prince wasn't in the mood now. He said angrily, "What pigeon? I don't need a pigeon." Yang Fu smiled bitterly. "My lord, your father is the only one in this manor who can send a messenger pigeon. What if it's an emergency?" The young prince frowned. Looking up, he saw that the colorful bird was indeed gone. So he said angrily, "Then prepare another pigeon and send this letter. Why bother me with such a petty thing? You're useless." He turned to leave after that. Yang Fu smiled bitterly. But the pigeon is dead, and we don't know where it's going. This is so annoying." The young prince waved his chubby hand and said, "Give it to me." Let me see what it says. I'll know where to send it after I read it. Yang Fu said, but if your father knows about this, I'm afraid. The young prince threw a dirty look at him. I'm my father's only son. He's not going to kill me. Chapter 4005. Chapter 4005. Jing Tianyi the Young Prince 3. Chapter 4005. Jing Tianyi the Young Prince 3. Yang Fu didn't know what to say, so he handed the letter to the young prince. The young prince impatiently opened the letter, unfolded it, and casually glanced through it. One look, and he was dumbfounded. Rubbing his eyes, he looked again and saw that the handwriting hadn't changed. That was to say, he wasn't seeing things. My lord, the guards reminded him in a low voice. Jing Tianyi looked up at a manor a short distance away, and his face darkened. The next moment, he waved his hand and said, That's enough. Let's go back. Take this pigeon away and clean this place. No one is to know that I killed a pigeon today. Got it? The young prince wasn't a complete idiot. When he straightened his face, he still looked very authoritative. Yes. The guards exchanged looks of bewilderment. It seemed that something had really happened. Meanwhile, the young prince ran off to find Lord Jing. No one knew what the father and son were talking about in the room, but one thing was for sure. Lord Jing was furious that night. After that, Lord Jing patted his son on the shoulder. Kiddo, I've underestimated you. Good job. This was the first time that his father had complimented him like this, and Jing Tianyi was over the moon. Clenching his fists, he decided that he would do something else to impress his father. The following day, come with me. Lord Jing pointed at Feng Wu and said indifferently. Yes, Feng Wu said in a hurry. There were 4 guards in total, but he only mentioned Jing Wei's name. Feng Wu stole a glance at Jing Bao, the captain of the guards. As expected, he was so angry that he had clenched his fists. Feng Wu noticed that Lord Jing also glanced at Jing Bao out of the corner of his eye, but his face didn't betray anything. As expected of the merciless Lord Jing, he didn't even bat an eyelash. After leaving the manor, Lord Jing took Feng Wu to the Crown Prince's residence. His Royal Highness is cultivating and won't see anyone. My lord, please leave. After entering the Crown Prince's residence, Lord Jing couldn't see Night Owl. Instead, he saw Gong Ming, Night Owl's personal guard. Just like Jun Lin Yuan, Night Owl, the Crown Prince, was also living outside the palace. Feng Wu wondered if the Dongsang king trusted his son as much as Emperor Wu trusted Jun Lin Yuan. When the Crown Prince left the Imperial Palace to build his own residence, it was very likely that the Crown Prince would become allies with the officials, which would weaken the king's authority. After all, the king was old, but the courtiers were all ambitious. Night Owl Senior Guard used to be Xiao, but unfortunately, Jun Lin Yuan killed him in the Battle of Northern Yen. Therefore, Night Owl had to find a new senior guard. Lord Jing frowned a little. His Royal Highness hasn't come out of seclusion yet. He must have been doing it for a while. Gong Ming didn't say a word because he was usually an aloof figure. Lord Jing frowned again. Do you know when he'll come out? Gong Ming shook his head. His Royal Highness didn't leave a message. He only said that no one was to disturb him. He's cultivating a formidable technique. Lord Jing asked, a formidable skill? From the Dian Empire? Has he met any of them? Gong Ming shook his head. No. Lord Jing rubbed his chin and was lost in his thoughts. What kind of formidable skill was it? Where did it come from? Standing in the manor, Feng Wu looked as calm as ever, but deep down. Chapter 4006. Chapter 4006. Whose man? Chapter 4006. Whose man? Feng Wu was already surprised. So, this was Night Owl's manor. He had built a manor outside the palace as well. Did the Dongsang king trust him as well? What was going on with his unparalleled skill? To Feng Wu, Night Owl had always been an unlucky person. Whether it was the explosion when he held Jun Lin Yuan in his arms, or the fact that she had made him bedridden, Feng Wu found the Crown Prince to be rather unlucky. But what was that unparalleled technique about? Just then, footsteps came from inside. Hearing footsteps, Lord Jing, who had been sipping tea in his armchair, rose to his feet and looked in the direction of the door. As expected, Your Royal Highness, Lord Jing said cheerfully. Night Owl smiled when he saw Lord Jing. Uncle, you seem to know that I'm out of seclusion today. Have you been waiting for me? Seeing Night Owl smile, Lord Jing knew that Night Owl had made a breakthrough. Who can predict that? But I'm indeed very lucky. Feng Wu stood next to Lord Jing and listened attentively. Wait, the more Feng Wu listened, the more uneasy she felt. According to Jing Wei, the relationship between Lord Jing and Night Owl was only SOSO in front of outsiders. However, from their private interaction, Feng Wu could tell that they were very close. However, it was probably because Jing Wei wasn't qualified enough, and Jing Bao had been following Lord Jing around. If that was the case, Feng Wu's plan would be much easier to carry out. She was going to play a big game here in Dongseng City. Lord Jing, Night Owl, and the king of the Dongseng Kingdom would all be her pawns. The Dongseng Kingdom was like a chessboard, but she was only a guard. It was almost an impossible game. However, Feng Wu was very confident in her plan. Just then, Lord Jing asked Night Owl about the so-called peerless skill. Feng Wu pricked up her ears. Speaking of which, Night Owl had only just started talking when he spotted Feng Wu. He frowned. Is Jing Bao not here today? Hearing Jing Bao's name, Lord Jing's face darkened. Night Owl frowned. What happened? Lord Jing smacked the table and said angrily, Do you know who Jing Bao works for? Night Owl paled a little. Lord Jing used to take Jing Bao with him when he came here, and Jing Bao had heard everything they said. Leave us. Lord Jing glanced at Feng Wu. Although she had left, Little Phoenix was still there. Because Little Phoenix could turn invisible, it was sitting in a chair opposite the two men and watching them curiously. It was broadcasting the whole thing to Feng Wu. Jing Bao, who's he working for? Night Owl gritted his teeth. It seemed that Jing Bao wasn't on Lord Jing's side. Lord Jing pointed at the sky. His Majesty? My father. Night Owl jumped to his feet. Lord Jing sighed inwardly and nodded. His Majesty's man? Since when did he become His Majesty's man? What about our conversation? Night Owl put his hand behind his back and paced around the room anxiously. Chapter 4007. Chapter 4007. The Arrogant Princess 1. Chapter 4007. The Arrogant Princess 1. Lord Jing softened a little and said, Luckily, I didn't tell him about our secret. We've only been seeing each other a little. It's not a big deal. Night Owl stared at him. Are you sure? Lord Jing said, My lord, His Majesty has allowed you to have an independent residence because he trusts you. Don't panic. Night Owl calmed down and nodded. That's right. Lord Jing changed the subject. By the way, what's that amazing skill you talked about? Have you succeeded? Night Owl gloated at the mention of that. Who do you think I am? How can I fail? Lord Jing said, so it's... Night Owl didn't dare to say anything. It was an indescribable pain, but the advancement had indeed made him much more confident. Night Owl said, Don't ask. By the way, how's the war going? Lord Jing shook his head and told him about Patriarch Huyan's participation in the battle. Night Owl frowned. Why would he join the war? Does he have connections with the Junwo Empire? Why would he help them? Lord Jing shook his head and was equally confused. The Patriarch said that he only did it because a young friend asked for his help, and the deadline is 3 months. We'll do it after that, and he won't interfere. Night Owl asked, Are you sure? Lord Jing said, I heard it with my own ears. Night nodded. If that's the case, it's doable. As for this young friend, Uncle, who do you think it is? Lord Jing said, Jun Lin Yuan. Night Owl's face turned livid. Lord Jing smiled bitterly. I don't want it to be him, but apart from him, I don't think there's anyone else in this world that can do such a thing. Night Owl smirked. So what if Patriarch Huyan thinks highly of him? I'll kill him in 3 months. Lord Jing was curious. Your current skill. Night Owl said, I'll surpass him in 3 months. Don't worry. Just then, they heard a voice outside. It was Gong Ming. Princess Yen Ling is here to see you. The fact that Princess Yinling was here to see him was proof enough of her status. Moreover, before Night Owl could say anything, a pleasant voice rang out. "This room is crowded. What's going on here?" Princess Yinling sat down opposite them and played with a red fruit in her hand. She didn't seem to think much of the two influential figures of the Dongseng Kingdom. Of course, Lord Jing wouldn't blame her, because his master was Ma Quan Quan, who worked for Yinling's family. Lord Jing smiled. "Princess Yinling, I didn't expect to see you here. Sorry for not greeting you earlier." Night Owl had known Princess Yinling since they were little. Although communication between the two continents was very difficult, Princess Yinling had begged Ma Quan Quan to bring her here when she was little. She had grown up with Night Owl, but the Crown Prince didn't like Princess Yinling very much. Because when Princess Yinling looked at them, to be more precise, Princess Yinling looked down upon everyone on this continent in a condescending manner. Night Owl frowned at the thought of that attitude, and she was doing it again. Chapter 4008. Chapter 4008. The Arrogant Princess 2. Chapter 4008. The Arrogant Princess 2. Princess Yinling glanced at Lord Jing before looking at Night Owl again. "What? Does the Crown Prince have a problem with me? Am I not welcome here?" Princess Yinling said indifferently, but there was no warmth in her eyes. Lord Jing glanced at Night Owl. Night Owl was furious, but he still smiled coldly. "Of course not. It's my honor." "Good. Otherwise, I would have thought that I was an unwelcome guest." Princess Yinling chuckled. "By the way, what were you talking about?" Lord Jing immediately said, "Nothing. We were just talking about His Royal Highness' phenomenal success." "A phenomenal success?" Princess Yinling was intrigued. Rising to her feet, she walked around Night Owl and asked, "What is it?" "Are you very capable?" Night said. "It's nothing. I'm just a little better than you." Crossing her hands behind her back, Princess Yinling gave Night Owl a half-smile. "Night Owl, why do I feel that you have something against me?" Night Owl said indifferently, "Of course not." Princess Yinling said, "I don't think you'll dare either." Night Owl was furious. Princess Yinling suddenly raised her voice and stared at him. "Night Owl, didn't you tell me that you were the most capable man of your generation? You lied to me." Night Owl's face darkened. Lord Jing intervened. "Princess, you're making fun of us. His Royal Highness is indeed the best of the younger generation." Princess Yinling glanced at Lord Jing. "That's a claim that's only true in the Dongseng Kingdom, isn't it? I've been walking around outside, and they all told me that the king of your continent's younger generation is a teenager named Jun Linyuan." Night Owl's face darkened. Princess Yinling sneered at Night Owl. "Is Jun Linyuan really more capable than you?" Outside, Feng Wu felt embarrassed for Night Owl. Princess Yinling had to be here to upset Night Owl, right? As expected, Night Owl's breathing quickened, and he was obviously angry. Lord Jing tried to make peace again. He smiled bitterly. "Jun Linyuan is indeed a talented cultivator, but His Royal Highness is as capable as he is. I think they're about the same level." Princess Yinling asked, "Is that so?" Lord Jing immediately said, "Princess, you'll be able to see with your own eyes if Jun Linyuan or the Crown Prince is more capable in the final battle 3 months later." Princess Yinling glanced at Night Owl and said, "Don't think that I don't know what your father is thinking. He wants me to marry you. But Night Owl, the man I want to marry has to be the strongest. Even if he's not the most capable cultivator of the Dian Empire, he has to be the most capable young man on this continent. If you can't even defeat Jun Linyuan, you're not qualified to marry me." Night Owl had had enough of this condescending attitude. He smirked and said, "You can marry whomever you want. Do you think I want to marry you?" That was the wrong thing to say. Princess Yinling wasn't provoked. She only stared at Night Owl and suddenly smiled. "Don't tell me you think that without the Dian Empire's help, the Dongseng Kingdom could have suppressed the Junwu Empire all these years." Chapter 4009. Chapter 4009. The Arrogant Princess 3. Chapter 4009. The Arrogant Princess 3. You, Night Owl glared at Princess Yinling. Princess Yinling smirked. What did I do? Did I say something wrong? Lord Jing intervened. That's enough. Stop quarreling. He grabbed Night Owl's arm. Night Owl was obviously displeased. Princess Yinling sneered at him. Lord Jing, am I wrong? Of course, Lord Jing wouldn't be happy. He was from the Dongsang Kingdom. Princess Yinling was humiliating the Dongsang Kingdom, which was the same as humiliating him. However, Lord Jing could only smile obsequiously. Princess Yinling, you're right. If it hadn't been for the help of the Empire, the Dongsang Kingdom would have. Seeing that Lord Jing had given in, Princess Yinling softened a little. She glanced at Night Owl and said arrogantly, You have to admit it, even if you don't want to. Night Owl was furious, but Lord Jing stepped on his foot and silenced him. Seeing this, Princess Yinling was even more pleased. Lord Jing immediately changed the subject. Princess, why are you here today? Princess Yinling said, Can't I come here when I don't have anything to do? Lord Jing smiled bitterly. Of course. Princess, you can come whenever you want. Princess Yinling glanced at Lord Jing as she played with the fruit. Why do I feel that you can make decisions for the Crown Prince's residence? Lord Jing was vexed. Princess Yinling was so disrespectful. But Princess Yinling was the ambassador of the Empire, and he didn't dare to offend her. Princess, you're making fun of me. Lord Jing could only laugh it off and hoped that Princess Yinling wouldn't talk about it anymore. But Princess Yinling didn't seem to mind at all. She smiled and said, Actually, His Royal Highness lets his emotions show too easily, and he's too childish. I don't quite trust him when we work together. Night Owl was going to lose his temper again, but Lord Jing was already in front of him. This time, Lord Jing didn't try to laugh it off because he realized that even so, Princess Yinling wouldn't stop. Lord Jing said indifferently, Princess, please show some respect to the Dongsang Kingdom. Humiliating the Crown Prince was the same as humiliating the Dongsang Kingdom. Little Phoenix showed Feng Wu the live feed. They're so boring. I don't want to listen to them. I want to sleep and cultivate. Little Phoenix yawned and wanted to come out. It had been coveting Feng Wu's cultivation level for a long time. All it needed to do now was to sleep and cultivate, and it would reach the spiritual saint stage in time. Therefore, it wanted to go back to its ring space. Because of Feng Wu's request, it had to stay awake and take care of all the chores. However, Feng Wu sensed something from Princess Yinling's tone. She immediately communicated with Little Phoenix in her head. No, please don't. Just stay a little longer. Just a little longer. I promise I won't keep you from your cultivation anymore. Please. You're the smartest and wisest Master Phoenix in the universe. Little Phoenix was so pleased with Feng Wu's flattery that it only said proudly, Fine, fine. Since you begged me, I'll stay a little longer. Just a little longer. Feng Wu said, Yes. To Feng Wu's surprise, Princess Yinling. Chapter 4010. Chapter 4010. Night Owl Story 1. Chapter 4010. Night Owl Story 1. To Feng Wu's surprise, Princess Yinling was going to reveal such a big secret. Princess Yinling smiled at Lord Jing and said indifferently, I'm not showing the Dongsang Kingdom any respect? Ha ha ha, you're the king's only brother, and you're the one who's not showing the Dongsang Kingdom any respect. Lord Jing blanched, and his face darkened again. Princess, what do you mean? Lord Jing narrowed his eyes and gave her a warning look. Wait, he was angry. Little Phoenix, who had been dozing off, scrambled to its feet and looked from one face to another. Unfortunately, Lord Jing and the others didn't know that Feng had a mouthpiece in the room. Princess Yinling wasn't threatened at all and grinned. What do you mean? Lord Jing, you know better than I do, don't you? Are you afraid to admit it? Princess Yinling. Lord Jing tried to stop her. Unfortunately, he had underestimated the princess's sense of superiority. Princess Yinling grinned at Night Owl. Don't tell me you don't know that. Night Owl had a dangerous look in his eyes. Princess Yinling took the hint right away. So you do know. Both Lord Jing and Night Owl stared at her. Lord Jing asked coldly, Princess, what do you know? Please don't hesitate to tell me. Princess Yinling said, If that's what you want, I'll tell you. Princess Yinling grinned at Night Owl. As she ate her fruit, she turned to look at Lord Jing. Why do I feel that His Royal Highness looks a little like you? Instantly, the air seemed to freeze. Little Phoenix was dumbfounded. It took it a while to tell Feng Wu what it had heard. Feng Wu was dumbfounded. What was that supposed to mean? Her imagination began to run wild. Meanwhile, Princess Yinling was grinning at Lord Jing. Why do I feel that the two of you look a lot alike? Lord Jing's eyes flickered, but he didn't let it show. Princess, you're so funny. Princess Yinling smiled. I don't tell jokes. Lord Jing was speechless. Night Owl stared at Princess Yinling. Are you done talking? Get lost. Princess Yinling asked, Your Royal Highness, are you chasing me away? Night Owl snorted. Princess Yinling chuckled. If you still don't understand what I mean, I haven't told you enough. Lord Jing said, That's enough, Princess. I don't want to hear such things from other people again. Princess Yinling said, Well, it's negotiable. The two of you really look alike and have the same temperament. You're both so grumpy. Lord Jing was speechless. Night Owl fell silent. Princess Yinling waved at them. Fine, fine. If you don't want to listen to me, I'll go to someone who will. She rose to her feet and turned to leave after that. Where are you going? Night Owl blocked her way. Princess Yinling grinned at him. To court, of course. I'll talk to Her Majesty. Maybe His Majesty will listen to me if he's here. Chapter 4011. Chapter 4011. Night Owl Story 2. Chapter 4011. Night Owl Story 2. Stop! Lord Jing's cold voice rang out behind Princess Yinling. Princess Yinling could sense the murderous intention, but she wasn't intimidated at all. Instead, she was very competitive. How dare the Dongseng Kingdom threaten her? Princess Yinling turned around and sneered at Lord Jing. What? Do you want to silence me? Lord Jing and Night Owl blocked her way. Both of them kept their silence and stared at Princess Yinling. Princess Yinling suddenly chuckled. Do you really think that I've walked into this manor all by myself and said all those things in front of you without leaving any backup plans for myself? Uncle Ma, said Princess Yinling. Yes. Ma, Chuan's voice came from the roof. Lord Jing and Night Owl's faces turned livid. Ma Quan was Lord Jing's master, but that relationship was only a scheme against the Dongseng Kingdom. Princess Yinling smiled at him. So, do you think you and the Queen are the only ones who know what you did? Why do you think the Queen gave birth to him? Do you think the Dongseng King wouldn't suspect anything if Diane hadn't been here to clean up your mess? Lord Jing felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Night Owl's face turned livid as well. Seeing this, Princess Yinling smirked. Lord Jing, don't you see? You're a dog of the Empire, and the crown prince you're talking about is no more than a puppy. Smack! Night Owl slapped Princess Yinling hard. It happened so fast that Lord Jing didn't have time to react. You! Princess Yinling glared at Night Owl. How dare you hit me? The next second, Ma Quan was behind her. Uncle Ma, kill him. Princess Yinling wanted to kill Night Owl. Although Ma Quan didn't do anything, the murderous look on his face was very intense. Taking a deep breath, Lord Jing fought back his rage. He went up to Ma Quan and knelt down on one knee. Master, please spare my son's life. His son, he had admitted it. Feng Wu was astonished when she heard it from Little Phoenix. It was true. She wasn't imagining things, but it was the truth. The crown prince of the Dongseng Kingdom wasn't the Dongseng King's son. Ma Quan said indifferently, This is the last time. Lord Jing said, Yes. He grabbed Night Owl and forced him to kneel. Princess Yinling snorted. If you hadn't been useful, you would all be dead by now. But Uncle Ma, slap him. Ma Quan was an employee of Lord Yan's residence, so of course, he would follow Princess Yinling's order. He struck out with his palm. Night Owl fell back and smashed into the wall. He slumped to the ground, and no one knew if he was still alive. Lord Jing was worried sick. Princess Yin Ling smirked. I'm only going to teach him a little lesson. If he dares to offend me again, it won't end so well. Lord Jing wanted to throttle Princess Yin Ling, but he still looked grateful. Chapter 4012. Chapter 4012. Night Owl Story 3. Chapter 4012. Night Owl Story 3. Princess Yin Ling waved him off. That's enough. I'm not here to kill you. I just want to make a deal with you. I didn't expect Night Owl to be so reckless. How frustrating. She turned to leave after that. Princess, what do you want to talk about? Lord Jing's voice came from behind her. Are you going to take the throne or not? Asked Princess Yin Ling. Lord Jin's pupils contracted. Princess Yin Ling, on the other hand, had left after throwing the bomb. After she left, Lord Jing quickly went to Night Owl's side and checked his pulse. Outside, Feng Wu was overwhelmed with excitement. She had thought that she was only here to meet Night Owl, but as it turned out, Princess Yin Ling had given her such an important piece of information. With that information, Feng Wu had a lot of room to maneuver. Instantly, Feng Wu was so excited that her cheeks flushed. Therefore, when Princess Yin Ling walked out of the room, she saw that Feng Wu was lost in her thoughts. Who are you? Princess Yin Ling looked at Feng Wu and asked curiously, Have I seen you before? Feng Wu immediately feigned a respectful tone and said to Princess Yin Ling, I'm a guard of Lord Jing. I'm sure you've met me before. Rubbing her chin, Princess Yin Ling suddenly stared at Feng Wu. But why do I feel that it's more than that? Feng Wu looked nervous and didn't answer. Princess Yin Ling suddenly smiled. You're very handsome. Feng Wu didn't know what to say. Princess Yin Ling asked, Do you want to work for me? Feng Wu vented her sarcasm inwardly. What was wrong with this princess? Why did she suddenly become her target? She didn't think Jing Wei was that good-looking. Feng Wu smiled bitterly. I'm Lord Jing's guard, and I'll do as he says. Princess Yin Ling glanced at Feng Wu and snorted. Even you won't show me any respect? Huh? Just then, a man walked in. It was Mr. Sakia, whom Feng Wu had defeated. That was mainly because of the ethos of Dian. Not only did the Empire worship the capable cultivators, but they also worshipped the wise ones. Princess Yin Ling recognized Sakia's wisdom, so she sounded much more respectful. What are you doing here? Princess Yin Ling asked curiously. Mr. Sakia knew Princess Yin Ling as well, so he said, I heard that His Royal Highness had come out of his seclusion, so I came here to have a look. Princess Yin Ling suddenly smiled. I think he should stay in seclusion for a bit longer. She left after that. Master, Bu Jingyu, Mr. Sakia's pupil frowned and asked, Why did Princess Yin Ling look so pleased? Sakia threw a dirty look at him. Bu Jingyu cringed and didn't dare to speak. Feng Wu let out a breath of relief when she saw Princess Yin Ling leave. But she still couldn't figure out why Princess Yin Ling had her eyes on her all of a sudden. Mr. Sakia was the one who answered her question. He glanced at her before turning to Bu Jingyu. Don't underestimate this princess. She may not be the most capable cultivator, but she has a special ability. Chapter 4013. Chapter 4013. Blackmail. Chapter 4013. Blackmail. She can smell treasures. Sakia didn't stop talking when he walked past Feng Wu with Bu Jingyu. If someone has a treasure that catches her eye, she'll have her eyes on it and won't let go of it. Therefore, stay away from that princess. Got it? Bu Jingyu nodded. Yes, master. I'll remember that. Sakia left Bu Jingyu behind, and Gong Ming showed him in. Meanwhile, Feng Wu was lost in her thoughts. Sakia must have seen how Princess Yin Ling had pressed a guard. Was he giving Jing Wei a hint when he talked to Bu Jingyu? Princess Yin Ling could smell treasures, and Feng Wu had quite a few on her. Although a lot of things had been stored in the ring, Feng Wu was still wearing the soft armor Jun Lin Yuan gave her. She also had some pills with her. Feng Wu moved all the things in her ring space. She was even more alarmed by Princess Yin Ling. Sakia frowned when he saw Night Owl. What happened to His Royal Highness? Of course, Lord Jing couldn't tell Mr. Sakia what had happened, because if he did, he wouldn't be able to keep Night Owl's secret. Sakia was only loyal to the Dongsang king, and he would definitely protect the royal bloodline. Therefore, Night Owl wouldn't be the crown prince anymore if the secret got out. Hence, Lord Jing and Night Owl exchanged looks and tried to cover it up. Mr. Sakiva was smart enough to see that something was off, but he also saw that the two men were keeping things from him. He didn't let it show and only replied indifferently. Night Owl cleared his throat. Mr. Sakia, may I ask why you're here today? He coughed as he spoke and picked up his teacup. He wanted Sakia to leave. Sakia smiled bitterly, but he said, I heard that the Junwu Empire and our kingdom are going to have a major battle in 3 months. Is that true? Night Owl looked at Lord Jing. Lord Jing said, Hasn't His Majesty told you? Sakia nodded. His Majesty has said so. But Lord Jing, you've experienced it in person, so I thought I should ask you. Hence, Lord Jing told Mr. Sakia about the visit of Patriarch Huyen. After that, Lord Jing said, Junlin Yuan is so well respected that even Patriarch Huyen would help him. Mr. Sakia shook his head. The young friend that Patriarch Huyen mentioned may not be Junlin Yuan. Is that so? Night Owl and Lord Jing looked at Sakia in unison. Mr. Sakia nodded. I have a suspect. Who is she? Feng Wu. Lord Jing didn't know much about Feng Wu. To be more precise, he didn't remember Feng Wu at all. Night Owl knew who Feng Wu was because Feng Wu had tricked him more than once. She was the reason that he had been bettered in for so long. Little Feng Wu? Night Owl frowned at Sakia. Why do you think it's her? Do you have any proof? Sakia said, the method of elimination. Have you heard about Junlin Yuan's battle in the Northern Yin Kingdom? Night Owl and Lord Jing nodded. Night Owl said, I thought it was Junlin Yuan because I saw him fighting in Northern Yin. Chapter 4014. Chapter 4014. Who's the young friend? Chapter 4014. Who's the young friend? Mr. Sakia said, if Patriarch Yin really is Junlin Yuan's friend, why didn't he intervene in such a dangerous situation? Junlin Yuan was almost killed. Night Owl frowned. Mr. Sakia said, Your Royal Highness, you saw the battle. I had a water screen as well and recorded it. He took a crystal ball out of his sleeve as he spoke. Unfortunately, the recording in this crystal ball can only be played once. Take a closer look. With a wave of his hand, Mr. Sakia projected the battle between Junlin Yuan and the others onto the white wall. Meanwhile, Little Phoenix also told Feng Wu what happened inside. Feng Wu was surprised. It was no wonder that the Dongsang kingdom was said to be more advanced than other kingdoms on this continent. They had such a screen that could see the battle of the Northern Yin kingdom from so far away. If Night Owl could see it, so could Mr. Sakiv. What about the Dongsang king? At that thought, Feng Wu narrowed her eyes. She told Little Phoenix to keep an eye on it for her, and she couldn't miss any of their conversation. Little Phoenix had been playing cute and slacking off, but now that it was serious, it was very considerate. It was already eavesdropping. Look, this is where Junlin Yuan's life was hanging in the balance. Sakia pointed at the screen. If Patriarch Huyen really is his friend, he would have intervened by then. But he's not there. Look here. The screen showed the VIP seat. It's common knowledge that this giant eagle is the only spiritual pet that can get close to Patriarch Huyen. Let's see who it sits next to. He paused the recording. It was Feng Wu. Not only was Feng Wu sitting next to the eagle, but she was also whispering to it. In the end, Feng Wu said something to the eagle, and it began to fly toward the tower. Look at Feng Wu's interaction with the eagle. The giant eagle is so proud that even princes and princesses have to fawn on it, but it's so familiar with Feng Wu. Keep watching, and you'll see that the giant eagle and Junlin Yuan haven't interacted at all. So, do you see it now? Feng Wu is the one who's on friendly terms with Patriarch Huyen. Mr. Salua couldn't believe his ears as he explained. It was that girl. Lord Jing was astonished. Night Owl clenched his fists. It's her. Sakia nodded. It's her. Night Owl gritted his teeth and murmured. Why is she so popular? How did she gain Patriarch Huyen's favor? 3 months? Even Patriarch Huyen has to pay a high price to resist the Empire for 3 months. Why did Fengwu make him do such a thing? A hush fell over the crowd, for everyone found it unbelievable. You've been picked, Little Phoenix said sympathetically. They've deduced that you're the young friend of Patriarch Huyen. You're in a lot of trouble. Fengwu was a little frustrated as well. Has she risen too high and become too outstanding? Why did other people always pick on her? Chapter 4015. Chapter 4015. Marry Fengwu. Chapter 4015. Marry Fengwu. Who would have known that the Dongsang Kingdom had such surveillance? That was so scary, but also made Fengwu much more alarmed. She had to be extra careful in the Dongsang Kingdom. Only in that way would she be safer. If that's the case, what do you think I should do? Night Owl stared at Sakia. Sakia said, if that little Fengwu is so capable, why don't we save her life? Is that so? Mister, Sakia said, since Dian has set its eyes on Junwu, the ladder is bound to fall, and everyone there will die. If that's the case, Your Royal Highness, why don't you marry that Fengwu? They said they wanted Night Owl to marry you. Little Phoenix screamed in. Fengwu's head. Fengwu's stomach lurched. Listen carefully. Little Phoenix said yes. It was a little sleepy at first, but these people really knew how to wake it up. The bombs kept coming. Needless to say, Lord Jing was shocked. Night Owl on the other. He looked pleasantly surprised. Do you want to marry that girl? Sakia nodded. Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. Your Royal Highness can save her life. Night Owl said, well, I can consider it. Lord Jing frowned and was about to say something when Night Owl asked, but will she agree? Sakia said, the Junwu Empire has learned about the sanctions Dian put on them, and they're bound to fall into chaos. If we tell them that marriage can bring peace, that girl will have to accept it for the greater good. Is Patriarch Huyen going to agree? Night Owl was concerned. Sakia said, Patriarch Huyen may have helped her once, but he may not do it again. Moreover, if Fengwu wants to marry willingly, he has no reason to object. He knows that the Junwu Empire is going to be wiped out. He's on friendly terms with Fengwu, so of course, he wants her to get out of this mess. Maybe he'll be the first to agree. Night Owl was elated. Lord Jing frowned. Your Royal Highness, have you forgotten? His Majesty wants you to marry Princess Yanling. Night Owl's face turned livid when he heard the name. Who wants to marry that princess? Lord Jing said, if you marry Princess Yanling, Dian will support you, and your Royal Highness's position will be secured. What do you think? Night Owl didn't know what to do. Sakia said, there's a solution. Night Owl asked, really? Sakia said, if His Royal Highness takes the throne, he can't dote on just one woman. Even the Princess of Dian can't interfere. Night Owl clapped his hands. All right, we'll do as you say. Sakia said, I'll start working on it then. Night Owl nodded. As soon as possible. I need to save that girl. After Mr. Sakia left, Lord Jing looked at Night Owl in resignation. Your Royal Highness, this isn't the time for romance. Do you know what's more important? Night Owl said, of course I do. The throne is the most important thing. If other people know who my father is, everything will be gone. That's what you're going to tell me, isn't it? Lord Jing stared at him. Princess Yanling already knows about it. Chapter 4016. Chapter 4016. Smart as Fengwu. Chapter 4016. Smart as Fengwu. Night Owl said, her purpose is to work with us, isn't it? So let's talk to her. What Night Owl didn't know was that Princess Yanling wasn't that easy to talk to. When Lord Jing went to see Princess Yanling, she said unhurriedly, negotiate. Of course, we can do that. But before that, sign this first. Taking a look at the paper on the table, Lord Jing frowned. It said that from now on, Lord Jing and Night Owl had to follow her orders. If they defied her, she would reveal Night Owl's secret. Even Lord Jing, who had been indulging Princess Yin Ling, lost his temper. He glared at the princess. That's an exorbitant price. Princess Yin Ling said arrogantly, "You don't say." Look at that condescending attitude. Lord Jing felt that he was only a dog in front of her. In this world where the strong were respected, the princess was only a spiritual overlord, but she was so arrogant. He was also a respected lord of the Dongseng kingdom. Lord Jing's face was livid as he said coldly, "Princess, that's not a negotiation, is?" Princess Yin Ling glanced at him. "Negotiate? Who cares about that? Are we negotiating? Don't you know who has the upper hand?" She rose to her feet. "I'm here on behalf of Dian. We have talented people as well as ancient technologies. Now that I know your secret, if it gets out, you're all dead. Do you think Night Owl is the only prince the kingdom has? The king has at least 30 sons, and there will be more in the future. Do you believe that I could destroy your son and you with a single sentence? You don't want to sign it? Let's see what will happen." Lord Jing's face went scarlet red. Princess Yin Ling sneered at him. "I see that you're not sincere enough today. Come to me when you show your sincerity. Uncle Ma, see him out." She threatened Lord Jing with Ma Quan Quan again. Ma Quan Quan, the peak spiritual saint, was the person that Jin Wang feared the most when facing Princess Yin Ling. As Lord Jing stormed off, Princess Yin Ling smirked at her maid. "They're just some dogs raised by my father. Who the hell do they think they are? TSK." She didn't raise her voice, but Lord Jing could hear her. Lord Jing clenched his fists, and his face turned livid. That was outrageous. After Lord Jing left, Ma Quan Quan frowned at Princess Yin Ling. "Princess, don't overdo it." Princess Yin Ling glared at Ma Quan Quan. "If I don't show them some power, they'll try to be my superior. Who do they think they are?" Ma Quan Quan had no choice but to try his best to persuade her. "Princess, our priority is more important." Princess Yin Ling said, "I know. I won't sabotage it." In Lord Jing's study. Thump. Infuriated, Lord Jing swept everything off the table, and his face went scarlet red. Lady Jing arrived in a hurry to find a mess. It was the same as yesterday. She asked what was going on. Lord Jing gestured at her to leave. "My dear husband," Lady Jing said sadly, "you used to tell me everything. Are you keeping everything to yourself now?" Lord Jing was so frustrated as he looked at his wife. He let her serve the wine and drank with her. Lord Jing had been drinking nonstop. In the end, he had gone pale. Lady Jing was about to put him to bed when Lord Jing suddenly asked, "What will you do if someone threatens you?" Lady Jing looked at him. "Has someone threatened you?" Lord Jing shouted. "What will you do if someone threatens you?" Lady Jing clenched her fists and said, "No one should be threatened. If I compromise when threatened, I'll be no different from a rat hiding in a dish. You think the person threatening you will stop when the opportunity arises, but to that person, all they need to do is threaten you once, and they'll get what they want. Why not do it again? You're afraid of them, anyway. Hiding in the shadows isn't real life at all." "My lord, you're too proud to be threatened." Lord Jing's eyes lit up. "My lady, do you think so as well?" Lady Jing nodded. "Of course. What do you think I should do? Get rid of the thread, of course. Make sure that there's no trace left behind." Lady Jing clenched her fists. "You're right." Lord Jing smacked the table. "Not only did she threaten me, but she also treated me like a dog. Does she think she's that amazing?" Lady Jing asked curiously, "Who is she?" Those words woke Lord Jing up from his reverie. "You can leave now." After Lady Jing excused herself, she left the study and went to a remote corner. She removed the makeup cream and revealed her true appearance. It was none other than Feng Wu. Feng Wu knew that after what he had gone through, Lord Jing would drown his sorrows in wine when he got back home. Therefore, she put something in the wine, then disguised herself as Lady Jing and led him in that direction. To Feng Wu, both Lord Jing and Princess Yin Ling were important chess pieces in the game she was playing. She had been trying to figure out a way to set off a conflict between Princess Yin and Lord Jing, but as it turned out, the princess was simply too easy a target. Not only did she look down upon Lord Jing and Night Owl, but she also knew their biggest secret and wouldn't stop threatening them. Both Lord Jing and Night Owl were proud men, and they couldn't stand the humiliation. Therefore, the conflict between the Lord Jing and Princess Yin could lead to friction between the Dongsang Kingdom and the Dian Empire. It would buy the Junwu Empire a lot of time. Fengwu was thrilled at that thought. Lord Jing had already made up his mind. As his most capable guard, Fengwu, aka Jingwei, would definitely be sent out. When that happened, Fengwu smiled a little, and there was a cunning look in her eyes. Lord Jing was a cautious man. He wouldn't act alone, but would consult Night Owl. But before that, Lord Jing summoned Fengwu. Jingwei, how have I treated you? Fengwu thought, here we go. Despite her excitement, she didn't let it show on her face. She immediately bowed and said, My lord, it was you who helped me to reach the spiritual saint stage. You've done me a great favor, and I'm all yours now. Lord Jing stared at Fengwu with a stern look on his face. Do you mean it? Fengwu said earnestly, Yes, of course. Lord Jing nodded and told Fengwu, Eat it then. He handed Fengwu a black pill. Other people might not recognize it, but Fengwu recognized it as soon as she smelled it. It was a bloodthirsty, bone-destroying pill, and a supreme level one at that. Normal people wouldn't be able to neutralize it. Fengwu was a semi-divine medicine refiner, so she could make an antidote. Lord Jing looked at Fengwu and said indifferently, Take this pill, and I'll trust you wholeheartedly. From now on, you'll be the person I trust the most. In fact, only a handful of people in the Jing Manor had become spiritual saints. The spiritual saint stage was very rare. Thanks to the fact that Lord Jing was the king's only brother, he was able to raise a spiritual saint subordinate. In the Junwu Empire, a spiritual saint could be the principal of Imperial College. That was to say, with the help of Dian, the Dongsang Kingdom was indeed more powerful than the Junwu Empire. Fengwu took the pill, stuffed it in her mouth, and swallowed it without hesitation. Lord Jing looked at Fengwu in amazement. The more capable a cultivator was, the harder it was to control them. Therefore, Lord Jing had his suspicions about this subordinate from time to time, but he didn't expect the man to be so obedient. Why aren't you hesitating at all? Aren't you worried that I'll feed you the poison? The look on Fengwu's face had never been so serious. My lord, you've done me a great favor, and I feel I was born again. I'm at your disposal now, and this pill is nothing. Even if you order me to stab myself right now, I won't hesitate. Fengwu was an expert in acting. She almost believed it herself, let alone Lord Jing. What a fool, thought Lord Jing. However, such a fool was much more reliable. Moreover, the toxin would kill him after he used it, so there was no need for Lord Jing to kill Jingwei. The look on Lord Jing's face was indecipherable, but Fengwu could see the ferocity in his eyes. But soon, Lord Jing smiled, patted Fengwu on the shoulder, and heaved a sigh. You're the best guard in this manor. You're the one I trust the most. Fengwu cursed inwardly, but she couldn't let it show, so she kept her face straight. Lord Jing said, Of the 4 guards, I've always considered you the most talented and loyal one. I was right. You didn't disappoint me. Fengwu played along and looked touched. Fengwu said in a serious tone, My lord, feel free to order me around. I'll do anything for you. Lord Jing said, That won't be necessary. You only need to kill one person. Fengwu said earnestly, My lord, please tell me who you want to kill. I'll go fetch their head and present it to you. Lord Jing looked pained. That person has humiliated me and tried to sabotage my plan. I can't stand it. That person is Princess Yanling. Fengwu looked surprised. Lord Jing said sternly, Are you afraid? Fengwu said, There's nothing I'm afraid of. I'll even cut off His Majesty's head, let alone Princess Yanling's. Hearing that, Lord Jing smacked the armrest of his chair. Good, good. I was right about you. Shall I go now, then? Fengwu turned to leave after that. Wait. Lord Jing shook his head. We'll have to think about it. Go get ready. Yes. Feng Wu went back to her room, leaving little Phoenix here as her mouthpiece. No Lord Jing's plan could fool her. Little Phoenix stopped nagging about its cultivation because it knew that they were at a critical moment now, and it needed to play along with Feng Wu. In Lord Jing's study. After Feng Wu left, Lord Jing walked around the room with his hands behind his back. He murmured, I have to find a way to lure Ma Quan away, and I have to make it look like someone else is the culprit. It won't be easy. Owl is a smart man, and I need to talk to him about it. Little Phoenix then saw Lord Jing open the secret door of the study. Wait! Little Phoenix cried out in amazement. Oh my, this is incredible! Sitting cross-legged in her room, Feng Wu communicated with Little Phoenix in her head. How so? Little Phoenix said excitedly. Didn't you go into Lord Jing's study before? You've searched the area, haven't you? Feng Wu said, That's right. Little Phoenix said, You've been in that cultivation room, haven't you? Feng Wu nodded. That's right. Little Phoenix said, But you don't know that there's a secret passageway. Feng Wu asked what? Little Phoenix said, Lord Jing is incredible. He really knows how to do it. If we're not careful, he'll keep everything from us. Little Phoenix told Feng Wu in detail, the mechanisms in that secret room are deliberately exposed so that if someone found out about it, nothing would happen. However, on the other side, Lord Jing has dug a secret passageway. This tunnel is very well hidden. I wouldn't have been able to find it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Little Phoenix chattered with Feng Wu in excitement. You don't say. Lord Jing really knows his stuff. Feng Wu asked curiously, Where does it lead to? Little Phoenix shook its head. I'm following him now. I'd like to see where this passageway leads to. About 5 minutes later. Holy crap! Little Phoenix's surprised voice rang out in Feng Wu's head. I finally know where this tunnel leads to. Feng Wu asked, Is it Night Owl's manor? Little Phoenix said, How did you know that? Feng Wu said, I remember Night Owl said that he didn't want the Dongsang King to know about his relationship with Lord Jing. However, Lord Jing and Night Owl are very close, so there should be a secret passageway. Little Phoenix said yes. Lord Jing has gone up there and is sitting with Night Owl in a secret tea room. I think they're going to discuss how to kill Princess Yinling now. Feng Wu said, Listen carefully then. Little Phoenix said, Don't worry. I love to hear other people's secrets. Lord Jing and Night Owl sat opposite each other at the tea table, but they had no idea that a bird was staring at them curiously. Night Owl asked, Have you reached an agreement with that lousy princess? Lord Jing shook his head and told Night Owl what happened in the princess's residence. Listen to her, even when I take the throne. Night Owl smirked. Does she mean that we're going to be her servants? Puppets? Lord Jing nodded. But she'll help you win the throne. Night Owl smirked. I don't need her help. The throne is mine. Lord Jing said, But His Majesty is still in good health. Night Owl clenched his fists and stared at Lord Jing. I want them dead. Lord Jing asked, What? Night Owl said, Can't we kill Princess Yinling and that old bastard? Lord Jing suddenly nodded. It's doable. Night Owl stared at him in disbelief. What did you say? Lord Jing stared at Night Owl. I think it's doable. Night Owl looked up and let out a breath of relief when he saw that no one was around. He stared at Lord Jing and leaned forward. You were only joking, weren't you? Lord Jing stared at Night Owl. What do you think? Night Owl was elated. Growing up, other people only called him smart, and even Mr. Sakia often praised him. What they didn't know was that Lord Jing would often come here in the middle of the night to tutor him and teach him a lot of things. That was why he was so smart. Therefore, to Night Owl Mr. Sakia was only sent by the Dongsang Kingdom to keep an eye on him, and Lord Jing was the father he had trusted since he was little. Father, Night Owl cried out, So, can we do it? But if Princess Yinling dies, won't die and take revenge? Lord Jing said, So, we're going to kill her with a borrowed knife. Princess Yinling can die, but it has to be the Dongsang King's doing. That way, If the Empire of Dian wants to take revenge, it'll be targeting that old man. He'll pay with his own life, and you'll inherit the throne. Therefore, you don't have to do anything. All you need to do is sit there and wait to inherit the throne. When that happens, you can marry whomever you want, and no one can interfere. Yes, Night Owl nodded. So what should we do? How about, to other people, they were uncle and nephew, but in fact they were father and son. They were discussing in low voices. What they didn't know was that Feng Wu had heard everything they said. Feng Wu listened carefully and heard every word. So, that's what Lord Jing is planning. Feng Wu nodded inwardly. He's so malicious. Although, Night Owl was the one who came up with the idea. However, it was a dog-eat-dog thing, and Feng Wu could just stand there and watch. Lord Jing only went back after they were done discussing the details. Jing Wei. Lord Jing stared at Feng Wu. I need you to do something very difficult. Feng Wu said, Yes, my lord. Lord Jing enunciated each word. Feng Wu said, But Princess Yin-Ling has such a capable man with her. I'm afraid. Lord Jing smirked. Don't worry. Someone will stall him. All you need to do is take Princess Yin-Ling away. You won't need to do anything else. Feng Wu nodded. She felt sorry for Princess Yin-Ling. If Princess Yin-Ling had listened to Ma Quan, Lord Jing's plan wouldn't have succeeded. Lord Jing had been waiting for his chance. During that time, Princess Yin-Ling flared up again. What? He sent someone to the Junwu Empire to propose a marriage? Has he lost his mind? Princess Yin-Ling was well informed and soon learned that Mr. Sakia had gone to the Junwu Empire. She smirked and said, Night Owl is nothing. He's not good enough for me. He doesn't get to say no. He's just a dog. Why would I marry him? Don't make me laugh. But why should he fall in love with someone else when I don't even like him? And there's Feng Wu. Princess Yin-Ling turned to Ma Quan. Uncle Ma, kill her. Ma Quan frowned. Princess Yin-Ling said, I don't want to see her alive again. If she's alive, it'll affect my mood, and I won't be able to focus on my cultivation. Uncle Ma, that's why I haven't been able to cultivate recently. Princess Yin-Ling looked into Ma Chuan's eyes. Uncle Ma, please kill her for me and remove her from this world. Ma Quan frowned. Princess Yin-Ling said, Uncle Ma, there's Her Majesty the Empress Dowager and the Imperial Princess above me in the Dian, and my life is so depressing. Can't I do whatever I want on this continent? Do I have to follow other people's orders? Uncle, Ma Quan said, Feng Wu isn't capable enough, so it'll be very easy to get rid of her. But that master, Princess Yin-Ling said, just lure her out of the Imperial capital. I thought that powerful cultivator couldn't leave the Imperial capital. If he could, Hu Yin wouldn't have gone to save them. And there's her family. Apart from Lady Xuanji, kill everyone else. Ma Quan finally agreed. Princess, you need to work on your cultivation and reach the spiritual saint stage as soon as possible. You're so close. Princess Yin-Ling smiled. Of course. Please wait 7 days. I'll become a spiritual saint in 7 days. Feng Wu didn't know what was going on with Princess Yin-Ling. If she did, Princess Yin-Ling would be in a much worse state. Lord Jing had been waiting for an opportunity, but to his surprise, he received news that Ma Quan had left Donglin City. Really? Chapter 4017. Chapter 4017. Feng Wu's Plan. Chapter 4017. Feng Wu's Plan. Is that true? Lord Jing was thrilled when he heard the news. He stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. Feng Wu nodded. It's true. According to the princess, Senior Ma went to the front line and told her to stay in Donglin City for the time being and not go anywhere else. Lord Jin walked back and forth in excitement. He couldn't wait any longer, so he went to Night Owl. Night Owl was cultivating at the moment. After the breakthrough, he had risen from a level 2 spiritual saint to a level 4-1. Is Ma Quan gone? Night Owl rose to his feet in excitement. Lord Jing nodded in excitement. Night Owl said, Ma Quan won't be gone for too long. He'll be back in a day. This is our only chance. Lord Jing nodded. Night Owl said, My father has been showing my second brother favor recently, trying to make him my competitor. If that's the case, we'll blame it on him. Lord Jing asked, Not on His Majesty. Night Owl said, Father has too many capable cultivators. Even if all your people join hands, they'll still be suppressed and won't have any chance of winning. They'll only suspect us. When they realize what's going on, they'll counterattack. So, Night Owl smirked. We'll destroy his favorite son. Of course, if this gets out, he'll be incriminated as well. After all, that's his favorite son. Only then will he be implicated. Lord Jing nodded. Good. What they didn't know was, Little Phoenix was recording their conversation with a spiritual fossil stone. The spiritual fossil stone was very hard to come by. Feng Wu used to have one, but she had used it already and couldn't use it again. Luckily, they were in the Dongseng Kingdom. With the help of Dian, the Dongseng Kingdom was relatively advanced in technology. Therefore, Night Owl and Lord Jing both had several spiritual fossil stones in their vaults. The one in Little Phoenix's hand was found by Feng Wu after she raided Lord Jing's vault. He then handed Feng Wu a piece of paper. Feng Wu opened it to find an address. 35th Court, Donggu Avenue. Got it. Lord Jing stared at Feng Wu. Feng Wu was at a loss, but she still nodded. Yes. He stared at Feng Wu and said, This is the second prince's private residence. After you took Princess Yin Ling away, knock her out and throw her into this manor. Then, he finally said, You can leave after that. That's all you need to do. Feng Wu could guess what Lord Jing was going to do, so she nodded and said, All right. As for Ma Chuan's trip to the Junwu Empire, Feng Wu believed that as long as Master Linghu was in the Imperial capital, no one would dare to touch her family. Therefore, she wasn't worried. While Feng Wu was taking action, so was Lord Jing. Apart from Jing Wei, he also had secret guards. However, Feng Wu was so capable now, which was why he had sent her to kidnap Princess Yanling. Otherwise, he would have sent his secret guards. Princess Yanling's current residence was in the most prestigious part of the Imperial capital apart from the Imperial Palace. The Dongseng King had given her a place to live in the palace, but Princess Yanling didn't like the atmosphere in the palace, so she chose an exquisite manor to live in. It was more like a garden than a manor. The courtyard was filled with pavilions, and a stream flowed down the slope. It was quite exquisite. Of course, Lord Jing wouldn't send Feng Wu alone. He had also sent a team of secret guards to help Feng Wu with the possible trouble. Feng Wu jumped into the manor and moved as swiftly as a cat. The night watchman didn't notice her at all. Feng Wu's eyes lit up as soon as she set foot inside. So, this garden was covered with formations. Ma Quan must have set it up before he left to protect Princess Yanling. But Ma Quan would never expect to meet a formation master like Feng Wu. It only took Feng Wu 5 minutes to solve the formation. She then quickly moved around the formation until she arrived at a courtyard. It was a 2-story building built against a slope and was surrounded by lush green grass. The cornices were hidden among the trees. The room was dimly lit by candles. This was the core of the formation and the safest spot. Therefore, Princess Yanling should be living here. Feng Wu couldn't help but slow down when she reached the core. She knew that it was the safest place for Princess Yanling, but for an intruder like her, it was the most dangerous place. There were traps everywhere, waiting to cut off the invaders' heads. Holding her breath, Feng Wu carefully bypassed the buttons that triggered the mechanisms. All of a sudden, Feng Wu halted. When she dodged a button over her head, she stepped on something hard. That was... Feng Wu's stomach lurched. If she guessed right, she was stepping on a secret landmine of the Dongseng Kingdom. Once she let go, it would explode. The explosion alone wouldn't be able to hurt her, but if all the traps were triggered, Feng Wu would probably die here. Just then, she heard noises a short distance away. It sounded like 2 maids. One was crying, and the other was trying to calm her down. The crying one said between broken sobs, "The princess is so terrifying." I saw with my own eyes that shouty. The one who tried to talk her out of it said, "Stop it. You'll be decapitated if word gets out." The crying one sobbed, "So be it. I don't want to live anymore. It's better to die than to have my skin peeled off." Shouty was only a little slow in her reaction. The other one said in a hurry, "That's why we have to keep our eyes open from now on. We can't afford any mistakes." The one crying said, "I don't know how long we'll live." They were getting closer and closer. Soon, they would reach Feng Wu. She had no choice but to take the risk. Feng Wu bent down and pressed the dagger on the landmine. Only then did she carefully move to the side. After that, Feng Wu crouched down and carefully removed the landmine. When she hid in the shadows, she saw two maids coming her way. Feng Wu noticed that both maids were very pretty, and their skin was so fair that one could almost squeeze water out of it. Is the Dongseng Kingdom so good at raising pretty people? Feng Wu thought to herself. Feng Wu noticed that each of them was holding a sack, as if they were discarding something big. Feng Wu only walked out of the shadows after they were gone. She moved as swiftly as a cat. In the blink of an eye, Feng Wu was outside the window. However, she would be easily spotted here, so Feng Wu jumped onto the roof without making a sound. It was frighteningly quiet. One could hear the sound of the wind. Feng Wu sniffed, for she could smell blood, which seemed to come from this building. Sniffing around, Feng Wu soon located the spot where the smell of blood was the strongest. She leaned over the roof, lifted a roof tile, and looked down. What Feng Wu saw was a shocking red color. It was the color of blood. She saw a bath. The bathtub was supposed to be filled with water, but Feng Wu saw that it was blood red. It wasn't dyed red. It was filled with blood. The smell of blood was repulsive, but Feng Wu saw that Princess Yin was the only one in the room. She had taken off her clothes, and her skin was glowing. She slowly walked into the blood pool. Feng Wu felt a chill run down her spine. There was so much blood in that pool. It had to be hundreds of people's blood. Princess Yin was taking a bath in the blood pool. Feng Wu saw her lying in the pool with a satisfied smile on her face. Feng Wu was astonished. Had Princess Yin been killing hundreds of people every day to fill the bath with her blood so that she could take a bath? Why did she do that? Soon, Feng Wu realized that Princess Yin had absorbed all the blood in the pool. There was no trace left, and Princess Yinling's cultivation level had risen. Feng Wu noticed that she was about to become a spiritual saint. Princess Yin said coldly, "Double the amount of blood every day from now on." A hesitant voice rang out. "Princess, Master Lei said that it's already very difficult for them to find teenage girls with spiritual essence. It's already very hard to find the current ones. However, we'll do our best to send people out. They won't delay your cultivation." Princess Yin smirked. "You, Eshin, you're so stupid. Why stop at the Dongseng Kingdom? Just expand the circle and go to the other kingdoms, especially the Junwu Empire. If they can raise someone like Feng Wu, they have to have a lot of resources. We don't need to reason with them. It's their honor to give their lives to the people of the Empire. The Emperor will do it anyway, and no one will blame us for it. Just go get it." Eshin said, "Yes." Feng Wu drew in a breath. And she was going to the Junwu Empire. Feng Wu took a deep breath. One more day of Princess Yinling's life, and hundreds of teenage girls would die. Her life would be a sin. Eshin was about to leave when Feng Wu jumped off the roof. She struck down with her hand. Eshin fell to the ground. Inside, Princess Yinling didn't notice anything. She said coldly, "What kind of a place is this? There's so little spiritual essence in the blood, which has kept me from reaching the spiritual saint stage. But my father wouldn't allow me to practice this amazing skill in Dayan, saying that it's unorthodox. That was why I had to come here. Do they think I like to stay here? Feng Wu, just wait and see. You were the first person to humiliate me. Who do you think you are? How dare you fight me? You're going to die a miserable death." Do you know, Princess Yinling was still venting her frustration when she noticed a figure behind her. "You!" When Princess Yinling turned around, Feng Wu sprinkled the truth serum at her face, and the princess immediately fell into a trance-like state. Feng Wu threw a dirty look at her and cut to the chase. "What's your name?" "Yin Ling." "Where are you now?" "The Dongsang Kingdom." "Why did you come from dying to the Dongsang Kingdom?" "The blood, cultivation, destroy." Something inside Princess Yin Ling seemed to be acting up, stopping her from talking. "Destroy what?" Feng Wu added more truth serum. Ordinary people would have turned into idiots by now, but Princess Yin Ling wasn't just anyone. She could withstand a lot of truth serum. Even so, it was still too much. "Destroy the Junwu Empire." "All of them?" Gritting her teeth, Feng Wu crouched down and asked again, "Why do you have to kill everyone in the Junwu Empire?" Because it hurts." Princess Yin Ling buried her head in her hands and rolled around in the bathtub in pain. Feng Wu noticed that Princess Yin Ling was giving off blood-red light. Her face, her arms, and her legs looked like they were going to explode at any moment. Feng Wu was utterly confused. She had no idea what was going on. "I can't tell you. It's a curse. I can't tell you." Princess Yin Ling gritted her teeth. Feng Wu sprinkled the truth serum on Princess Yin Ling's face again. She asked again, "Why do you want to kill everyone in the Junwu Empire?" "Why?" Because Grandpa Ma said, because the altar, turn it into an altar." "Ah!" Princess Yinling screamed and fainted. Feng Wu was lost in her thoughts. An altar? What altar? Feng Wu couldn't figure out for the time being, but she decided to ask her 6th or 5th senior brother when she got back. Mavda would know. As for Princess Yinling, Feng Wu hoped that she hadn't been turned into an idiot. Feng Wu pulled a sheet over, wrapped it around Princess Yinling, and dashed off. Princess Yinling used to be guarded by 2 top spiritual saints, but one of them had left for another country. Ma Quan, on the other hand, had been sent away by Princess Yinling, which was why Feng Wu could succeed. Carrying Princess Yinling over her shoulder, Feng Wu left the courtyard and headed for the address Lord Jing gave her. It was the second prince's private residence, 35th Court, Donggu Avenue. Feng Wu saw that Jing Bao was there to pick her up. "You're amazing." Seeing that Feng Wu had brought Princess Yinling back, Jing Bao looked at her in excitement. "I thought you wouldn't even be able to make it." Feng Wu smiled bitterly. "It took me a lot of effort. You'll be on your own from now on." Jing Bao nodded. "Don't worry. Lord Jing has left instructions. I know what to." Feng Wu left as soon as she could, for she had to stay there while Princess Yinling was away, so that no one would notice. Feng Wu didn't know what Lord Jing did, but she knew that he wouldn't let her down. Chapter 4018, Chapter 4018, Missing. Chapter 4018, Missing. 2 hours later, Feng Wu took Princess Yinling back to the building. Meanwhile, Princess Yinling was still unconscious under the curtain. Feng Wu took Princess Yinling back to her room and looked at her indifferently. If killing Princess Yinling would stop dying from attacking the Junwu Empire, Feng Wu would do it without hesitation. But it didn't work that way. According to the information she received from Princess Yinling, Dian wanted to destroy the Junwu Empire for the sake of some altar. Although Feng Wu wasn't sure yet, she knew that it was a strategy that Dian was bound to carry out. Therefore, killing Princess Yinling wouldn't change anything. Moreover, the Dongsang Kingdom would only start squabbling if Yinling was alive. Therefore, Princess Yinling was more useful alive than dead. But was she going to let Yinling off the hook just like that? Feng Wu smiled. There was a pill in her palm. The next day, Princess Yinling woke up. She felt as if she had been run over by a mountain and was in so much pain that she wished she were dead. When she saw herself naked and covered in bruises, she bolted up. What was going on? Princess Yinling blanched after examining herself. She was... Damn it. Meanwhile, in the Crown Prince's residence, Lord and Nished Owl sat opposite each other. It's all taken care of. Lord Jing smiled at Night Owl. Here's the evidence, Princess Yinling and the second prince. He then handed the spiritual fossil stone to Night Owl. Night Owl smacked the table in excitement. That's great. With that, she won't be able to do whatever she wants to us anymore. Lord Jing said, but if she knows about this spiritual fossil stone, she'll know that we did it. Night Owl said, we can make my second brother the scapegoat. Lord Jing asked, what do you mean? Night Owl nodded. I'll let my brother threaten Princess Yinling with it. Lord Jing said, do you think Princess Yinling will kill him on the spot? Night Owl said, that's why we can't say it explicitly. Let's give her a hint. Wasn't that my brother's private residence yesterday? Princess Yinling is very good at tracking people down. I'm sure she'll find out where she was last night. So, we can blame it on my brother and get rid of him through Princess Yinling. In the end, we can say that he gave it to us. Night Owl smiled. King Jean said, why would he do that? Isn't he afraid that Princess Yinling will take her revenge? What's his motive? Princess Yinling has to be convinced. Otherwise, she won't believe it and will suspect us. Night Owl smirked. I've thought of a reason already. Lord Jing asked, what is it? Night Owl said softly, and Lord Jing's eyes lit up. He patted Night Owl on the shoulder and said, my son is so smart. After separating from Night Owl, Lord Jing went back to the Jing Manor. When he saw Feng Wu, he raised his eyebrows and thought, Jing Wei did it himself, so I can't let him live. However, he realized that Jing Wei was going to die from the toxin, so he said, I need you to do something for me. Feng Wu rose to her feet. At your command. Of course, Lord Jing wouldn't give Jing Wei any task. His top priority now was to get rid of Jing Wei, so that the latter would die from the toxin and turn into a pool of blood. Therefore, he said indifferently, go to the Wang family's valley 1,500 kilometers away and fetch something for me. Chapter 4019, Chapter 4019, Change the Location. Chapter 4019, Change the Location. Feng Wu knew perfectly well why Lord Jing had sent her out. Wang family's valley? That was just an excuse. More importantly, Lord Jing wanted to send her out so that she could die out there. Feng Wu felt that it was time to get rid of the current disguise, for she still had a lot to do. At that thought, Feng Wu readily agreed. Yes. After Feng Wu left, Lord Jing turned to another guard. 2 days later, my lord, Jing Wei is dead. Jing Jia came back with the news. Lord Jing let out a breath of relief. Finally, that person was out of the picture. He told Ling Wei to take the D0 Ison, and Ting Wei was such a fool. Lord Jing sighed inwardly and waved at Jing. Good job. I'll entrust you with the task from now on. What he didn't know was that Feng Wu had snuck up on Princess Yinling. Princess Yinling had a maid, whose name was Yuexin. Feng Wu was going to pretend to be her, but when she snuck into the manor, she realized that Yuexin was gone. After asking around, she realized that Yuexin had been killed. After what happened to Princess Yinling, how could Yuexin, her personal maid, still be alive? Even if Princess Yinling didn't suspect her, she would still vent her anger on her. It would be a miracle if she survived. Feng Wu didn't want to get too close to Princess Yinling either, for according to Sakia, Princess Yinling could smell treasures, and Feng Wu had a lot of treasures on her. Therefore, she wanted to stay out of Yinling's way. Moreover, Ma Quan was a peak spiritual saint who was very close to Princess Yinling. Therefore, Feng Wu decided to take a detour. Hence, Feng Wu pretended to be Xingxiang, a third-ranked cleaning maid. Feng Wu had been hiding here for 3 days. She had been mimicking a cleaning maid for the past 3 days, but no one could tell. Needless to say, Feng Wu had something to do. She was going to bring calamity to the Dongseng Kingdom. Unfortunately, Princess Yinling had been severely injured this time and hadn't left her room for 3 days. As a result, Feng Wu hadn't been able to see her. Without seeing Princess Yinling, Feng Wu wouldn't be able to carry out her plan. However, Feng Wu wasn't the type to sit around and wait. With a little trick, the senior maid inside soon had a stomach ache. Xingxiang, bring the food box to the princess. The chief maid pressed the box to Feng Wu's hands, then rushed off, holding her stomach. Yes. After the maid left, Feng Wu smiled a little. Inside, Feng Wu saw that the curtain was lowered, and Princess Yinling was nowhere to be seen. She had to be behind the curtain. After what happened, Feng Wu felt sorry for Yinling as well, but Yinling had always been so arrogant and wanted other people dead. It was only an eye for an eye. Feng Wu was about to leave when Princess Yinling suddenly lifted the curtain and stared at her. Princess, Feng Wu feigned a terrified look. Princess Yinling stared at Feng Wu with cold eyes. "Where's Jian?" Feng Wu whispered. Her stomach wasn't feeling well just then, so, "If she's not here, you come with me." Princess Yinling dashed off after that. Where are they going? Chapter 4020, Chapter 4020, The Second Prince, 1. Chapter 4020, The Second Prince, 1. Princess Yinling led the way out, and Feng Wu followed her in a hurry. Feng Wu had thought that Princess Yinling was going to the Imperial Palace, but she didn't seem to be heading in the right direction. Feng Wu noticed that Princess Yinling was sniffing as she walked, as if she was searching for some scent. Feng Wu chuckled inwardly. She knew what Princess Yinling was looking for. After sulking in her room for 3 days, Princess Yinling finally decided to come out and find the truth. Who had taken her? Where she taken? Who had raped her? Who was behind this? Feng Wu knew that Yinling would find the second prince's private residence because she had cut Princess Yinling's arm on purpose when she carried her out, leaving a bloody wound. Her blood had dropped to the ground along the way. It had been 3 days, but Princess Yinling would be able to find it if she wanted to. Didn't Mr. Sakia say that the princess had a very sharp nose? As expected, Feng Wu saw Princess Yinling sniffing as she walked. In the end, she arrived at a manor. It was the second prince's residence. Princess Yinling stood in front of the manor and narrowed her eyes. She jumped over the wall and entered the courtyard, followed by Feng Wu. She followed Princess Yinling all the way to one of the bedrooms. Princess Yinling pushed the door open, walked in, and stared at the bed that had been cleaned. The bed looked spotless, but Feng Wu noticed that there was a storm brewing in Princess Yinling's eyes. It was the calmness before a storm. Suddenly, Princess Yinling turned around and stared at Feng Wu. "Find out whose house this is." She headed for the door after that. Feng Wu noticed that Princess Yinling had clenched her fists. She had to be furious. Just then, a maid walked in and shouted at the two of them. "Who are you? Why are you?" Before she could finish, Princess Yinling struck out. She reached out with her slender arm and grabbed the maid by the neck. The next second, the maid fell to the ground and was dead. Princess Yinling said, "I need to know in 15 minutes. Feng Wu immediately said, "Yes." Princess Yinling didn't notice the smile on Feng Wu's face after she left. By now, the web Feng Wu had set up was slowly closing in. When it was over, Princess Yinling, the second prince, Lord Jin, Night Owl, Ma, Quan Quan, and the Dongsang King would all be involved. 15 minutes later, Feng Wu went back to Princess Yinling. Seeing Feng Wu come back, Shi Jian frowned. "Where have you been? Do you think you can come and go as you please? Do you know how long I've been looking for you?" Feng Wu said, "I." Before Feng Wu could say another word, Princess Yinling walked out of the room. She glanced at Shi Jian, and the latter didn't dare to say another word. Shi Jian and Yuexin were Princess Yinling's 2 maids brought here from the Dian Empire, but Yuexin was missing, and Shi Jian feared Princess Yinling to the bone. Seeing Feng Wu, Princess Yinling waved at her. Princess Yinling stared at Feng Wu with a stern look on her face. "Have you figured it out?" Feng Wu played the role of a maid perfectly, and she was perfect in her tone and posture. Chapter 4021, Chapter 4021, The Second Prince, 2. Chapter 4021, The Second Prince, 2. She said gingerly, "I've checked. That manor is very well connected. It's..." Princess Yinling stared at Feng Wu. "Speak." Feng Wu gritted her teeth and said, "It's the second prince's private residence." "It's him." Princess Yinling wouldn't believe it. She frowned. How could it be the second prince? At first, she thought it was Night Owl's private residence. Shi Jian, look into it again. Princess Yin gave Shi Jian an address. Shi Jian came back 15 minutes later. Princess, that private residence indeed belongs to the second prince, said the Shi Jian in a serious tone. Princess Yin then jumped out of her seat and picked up the sword hanging on the wall. Princess, you, Shi Jian was surprised. She had no idea what the princess was doing. Apart from Feng Wu, no one else in the manor knew what had happened to Princess Yin, including the peak spiritual saint. Meanwhile, Princess Yinling's face had turned livid. This Dongseng kingdom, my family treated them well over the years. Dian has helped them and given them so many things. Do they really think they've risen so high on their own? If the empire hadn't supported them and suppressed the Junwu Empire, they would have been devoured by the Junwu Empire already. How dare they do this to me? Princess Yin was still fuming, and she kept yelling as she dashed off. Soon, she arrived at the second prince's residence. The princes would move out of the Imperial Palace when they turned 12 and start their own residences. Therefore, the second prince's residence was in the Imperial capital, but not in the Imperial Palace. For guards guarded the front gate. They didn't recognize the angry Princess Yinling. After all, Princess Yinling lived in seclusion, and not many people could recognize her. Without another word, Princess Yinling charged out with her sword. Feng Wu and the Shi Jian followed her. Shi Jian was genuinely anxious, but Feng Wu was only pretending. In fact, she was over the moon. The Dongseng Kingdom and the Dian Empire had joined hands to destroy the Junwu Empire, and they were about to break into a fight between themselves. Of course, Feng Wu was happy. The four guards didn't recognize Princess Yinling, seeing that someone was going to charge into the second prince's residence with a sword. They blocked the door and shouted, "Who are you? How dare you?" However, before the four guards could finish their sentence, whoosh, 3 of them had been decapitated. It was Princess Yinling. The last guard watched with his mouth agape. He came back to himself, turned around, and rushed in, shouting, "We're under attack." Princess Yinling didn't care what he shouted. She was still furious, so she walked into the manor with her bloody sword. Shi Jian and Feng Wu quickly followed him. The maid was a little anxious. She didn't know why her princess had suddenly lost her mind. This wasn't some random place. She couldn't just kill someone and cover it up. This was the second prince's place. Hence, Shi Jian stopped Princess Yinling. "Princess, wake up, wake up." Princess Yinling's eyes were bloodshot red, and she looked like she had lost her mind. "Princess, why are you here? You can't kill people here." Arg. Chapter 4022, Chapter 4022, The Second Prince, 3. Chapter 4022, The Second Prince, 3. Princess Yinling looked like she had really lost it. When Shi Jian came out to stop her, she stabbed Shi Jian in the shoulder blade and sent her flying. Although it wasn't enough to kill Shi Jian, it was enough to destroy most of Shi Jian's cultivation. Feng Wu gave the maid a sympathetic look. The maid really didn't know how to read faces. Right now, Feng Wu was hiding behind Princess Yinling and wouldn't say anything. Many people in the second prince's residence were alarmed. There were guards and advisors, but most of them were servants. Naturally, the servants didn't dare to show their faces, and the guard were the first to come out. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A team of armed guards stepped out. Whoosh. A team of crossbowmen arrived after them. The saber guards surrounded Princess Yinling in a circle while the crossbowmen fanned out. They were ready to shoot at any moment. A bloodbath was imminent. Seeing this, Princess Yinling smirked. "How dare these people offend me?" With a wave of her hand, all the guards in the front row were decapitated. "Go to hell." Intimidated, Princess Yinling showed no mercy. She turned all the humiliation she suffered in the past few days into a murderous intention and was going to kill all these people. More than half of the 100 saber guards were killed by Princess Yinling in the blink of an eye. Saber guards retreat. The crossbowmen get ready. There came a cold voice. It was the captain of the guards of the second prince's residence. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. They were ready to shoot Princess Yinling. Just then, Night Light, the second prince, rushed out, and his pupils contracted when he saw Princess Yinling. Stop! Stop! Night Light shouted. The crossbowman stopped at the last moment, or the consequence would have been unimaginable. Princess Yinling. However, before Night Light could finish, Princess Yinling stepped forward and slapped him hard in the face. Princess Yinling had used all her strength, and the second prince couldn't withstand it. He stumbled back. Behind him, the others all glared at Princess Yinling. The battle was going to start again. Night Light was filled with hatred, but he knew that she was from the Empire of Dian. If he offended her, he would be in a lot of trouble. At that thought, Night Light glared at Princess Yinling. Princess, why don't you tell us what you're here for first before you decide what to do? Princess Yinling stared at him in disgust and smirked. Fine. Since you're asking for it, I'll give you a chance to speak. Princess, would you like to come in then? Night Light beamed at her, although the smile didn't reach his eyes. Princess Yinling walked in without hesitation, followed by Night Light. Your Royal Highness, the captain of the second prince's guards was about to follow him, but the second prince waved at him. Wait outside. No one is to come in without my permission. But Your Royal Highness, the captain was worried about him. Night Light waved him off. Don't worry. She won't dare to kill me. She doesn't know what I have. Tell Yuanhe to come here. Yuanhe was Night Light's most trusted guard and had always been by his side. He was also the one who brought Princess Yinling to Night Light. Chapter 4023. Chapter 4023. Secret Conversation 1. Chapter 4023. Secret Conversation 1. Night Light and Princess Yinling entered the main hall. They were the only people in the hall. Night Light smiled obsequiously. Princess Yinling, please take a seat. Let's talk like civilized people. You're a lady, and it'll be very embarrassing if you lose your temper. However, Princess Yinling slapped him before he could finish. Night Light, how dare you? The second prince was infuriated as well. He looked at Princess Yinling with a malicious look in his eyes. Princess Yinling ignored him and looked into his eyes. Choose which way you're going to die, standing or kneeling. Night Light stared at Princess Yinling. I see that you don't want to talk to me anymore. Talk to you. Princess Yinling sneered at him. About what? Night Light found a seat and said, Princess, we're... Turning around, Princess Yinling glared at him and was about to stab him with her sword. But this time, Night Light caught the tip of the sword between his fingers. Princess Yinling said, How dare you? Night Light chuckled. I've done what I did. Why should I be afraid? Princess Yinling said, So, you admit that you did it. Night Light studied Princess Yinling from head to toe before asking with a smile, What did I do? Princess Yinling said, You're shameless. Night Light smirked. I'm shameless? You're the one who went to my bed, aren't you? Wait, you if I'm shameless. Are you trying to humiliate yourself? Princess Yinling's eyes were bloodshot red. Night Light, I'm going to kill you. Night Light smirked. Did I say something wrong? Didn't you come to me on your own? I was at home. I opened the door to find you lying in bed. Princess Yinling's face was livid. Bullshit, Night Light said. Of course, I'm telling the truth. You were the one who came to me that day. Princess Yinling stared at Night Light. I'm not your match, but are you sure you want me to bring Grandpama here? Wasn't he the peak spiritual saint? Night Light was a capable cultivator, but he was nowhere near as capable as a peak spiritual saint who could easily kill him with a finger. Jun Linshin's face darkened. Princess Yinling stared at him. Tell me everything that happened that day. I know you aren't bold enough. Night Light didn't want to say anything at first, but under Princess Yinling's pressure, he had no choice but to say, Princess, you were lying by the side of the road when you were injured. Yuanhe didn't know who you were, but he had to carry you back home when he saw your naked body and the wounds on you. Princess Yinling flared up. Nonsense. Since when am I injured? Why would I lie on the side of the road naked? Nightlight shrugged. Princess, it doesn't matter if you don't believe me. That was how Yuanhe found you. All the maids and servants saw it when he carried you in. I'm sure of it. Princess Yinling gritted her teeth. How could this happen? How could she? Princess Yinling tried her best to recall, but she couldn't remember anything. Chapter 4024. Chapter 4024. Secret Conversation 2. Chapter 4024. Secret Conversation 2. Nightlight glanced at Princess Yinling and told the chief steward, "Go fetch Yuanhe." The chief steward wanted to say something, but hesitated. Nightlight said angrily, "What are you waiting for?" Only then did the chief steward go in and whisper something in his ear. Nightlight asked, "What? He's dead?" The chief steward nodded. He was sitting at his desk and was ambushed from behind. Nightlight turned around and stared at Princess Yinling. Princess Yinling frowned. "Why are you staring at me?" Nightlight rose to his feet and quickly headed for Yuanhe's courtyard. Yuanhe was the second prince's most capable guard and most trusted strategist. How could the second prince not be worried when he was assassinated? "Stop right there!" Princess Yinling bellowed, but Nightlight wouldn't stop. So she had to follow him. Nightlight rushed into the room to find Yuanhe lying dead on the table. Staring at the dead body on the desk, Princess Yinling's eyes glinted coldly. Was this the person who had carried her into the manor? If the second prince was telling the truth, then Yuanhe was the lead. But now, Yuanhe had been killed. Who killed him? The most profitable person should be the most suspect. Could have been Nightlight. Just then, Nightlight found some words carved on the table. To be more precise, there was only 1.5 words, which Yuanhe had carved with his nails before he died. The first word was yen. The second word was lit. Nightlight jolted. That was it. The fact that Princess Yinling had come to the private residence meant that she remembered what happened the other day. Naturally, she remembered that Yuanhe had carried her in, and now she had taken her revenge on the man, making it difficult for Nightlight to explain himself. Princess Yinling was trying to set him up. Nightlight thought that Princess Yinling had killed Yuanhe, and Princess Yinling thought that it was Nightlight's doing. As a result, the misunderstanding grew bigger. Fengwu was the one who had set the trap. Meanwhile, Fengwu was watching things happen according to her plan, and she was only a facilitator and a bystander. "You killed him. You killed him." They spoke in unison. And they snorted in unison again. Princess Yinling said coldly, "He's dead. What more do you have to say now? Do you have anything to say about what happened the other day?" Nightlight frowned. "Didn't you kill Yuanhe?" Princess Yinling said, "Are you trying to frame me?" Nightlight said, "You killed him. If you don't believe me, we'll take it to my father and ask for his opinion." The Dongsang King. Princess Yinling didn't want to, because it was her privacy. If what happened to her got out, as a woman, she would be in a lot of trouble. When that happened, the Dongsang Emperor would make Nightlight marry her for the sake of their dignity. At that thought, the look in Princess Yinling's eyes turned grimmer, and she was filled with rage. Night Owl didn't even dare to make a sound in front of her. Who the hell did this second prince think he was? If you can't explain yourself, go to hell. Princess Yinling struck out without hesitation. Nightlight jumped. Chapter 4025. Chapter 4025. Secret Conversation 3. Chapter 4025. Secret Conversation 3. You're a shrew. You used to call me your husband in bed, but now you're treating me like this. Princess Yinling, do you think I'm that easy to bully? She bullied him. Princess Yinling almost laughed out of anger. You can say whatever you want. You are going to die today anyway. With that said, Princess Yinling grabbed Nightlight's throat. There wasn't much difference between their cultivation levels. Princess Yinling was slightly stronger, and Nightlight was caught off guard, so Yinling succeeded. Die! A dagger flew out from Princess Yinling's sleeve and was about to stab into Nightlight's heart. But at this critical moment, Yinling, Do you think that I won't leave any evidence for what happened that night? Nightlight sneered. Princess Yinling was stunned. What did you say? Nightlight sneered again, but this time he was much more confident. He looked at Princess Yinling mockingly. Don't tell me you forgot that you gave us a gift when you came to the Dongsang Kingdom. Princess Yinling naturally remembered. What she gave the Dongsang Kingdom were 10 spiritual fossil stones. The ancient technology of the Dayan Empire was advanced, and such divine fossils with recording functions weren't rare. Therefore, she casually grabbed some from her mansion and threw them in her luggage. When she saw the Dongsang King, she took them out as gifts. Nightlight stared at Princess Yinling and sneered. Father gave me 2 of the spiritual fossil stones that you gave to Dongsang. Princess Yinling gritted her teeth and glared at the Nightlight. What did you do with the spiritual fossil stone? Nightlight said, take a wild guess. Princess Yinling sneered. I don't believe you would do that. Nightlight sneered. You don't believe me? In that case, you can see for yourself. After saying that, Nightlight took out a spiritual fossil stone from his sleeve and put it in front of a white wall. Immediately, an image appeared. The scene slowly unfolded. First, it was the bed, then the woman on the bed. Princess Yinling's pupils constricted. At that time, she was in a semi-conscious state. Damn it! Princess Yinling destroyed the wall with a slap, but she couldn't destroy the image in the spiritual fossil stone. Give it to me. Princess Yinling gritted her teeth in anger. Damn it! How could such a scene be recorded? Nightlight still felt that she wasn't upset enough. He stared at her with a smile. Do you know why I keep this spiritual fossil stone with me every day? Anger gathered in Princess Yinling's eyes. However, Nightlight continued to provoke her. Because I'll watch it day and night. You deserve to die. Princess Yinling grabbed his collar. She had never suffered such humiliation in the Dayan Empire, but in the tiny Dongsang Kingdom, she was actually forced to this extent. Nightlight sneered. WHV should I die? You were the one who crawled into MV. Bed and begged for my love. As for the future, Yinling, with his spiritual fossil stone in hand, do you still dare to kill me? Do you still dare to disobey me? Do you still dare to disobey my orders? Everything you have is in my hands. Nightlight had never felt so confident before. From now on, I am your master. Now kneel. Nightlight sneered as he stared at her. Princess Yinling looked at Nightlight as if she was looking at a retard. However, Nightlight was still urging her. Hurry up, kneel, and call me master. Princess Yinling was furious. Chapter 4026. Chapter 4026. Kill him. Chapter 4026. Kill him. Nightlight threatened her. If you don't listen, the scene in this spiritual fossil stone. You don't want everyone in Donglin City to see it, right? Princess Yinling glared at him. A sinister smile appeared on Nightlight's face. Come on, kneel. Nightlight thought everything was going well. He had a trump card in his hand. If he controlled Princess Yinling, wouldn't the Dayan Empire be able to help him in the future? With the help of the Dayan Empire, why would he be afraid of Night Owl? Even the Dongsang King couldn't do anything to him, let alone Night Owl. At that time, it wasn't impossible to force the king to abdicate. Thinking of this, Nightlight was in a state of excitement. However, he never dreamed that. A hand grabbed his neck. Yinling. Soon, Nightlight couldn't make a sound. Princess Yinling stared at him fiercely. In the next moment, she snatched the spiritual fossil stone from his hand. You want to threaten me? Princess Yinling sneered. Those who can threaten me are no longer alive. You're no exception. Crack, crack. There was the sound of bones breaking. You will regret this. That was the last thing that Nightlight said. At this moment, a group of people rushed in. Some of them were Princess Yinling's subordinates, including Feng Wu. But most of them were Nightlight subordinates. When the chief steward and the chief guard saw Nightlight's body on the ground, they were completely stunned. They could not believe what was happening in front of them. That was Nightlight. The prince of the kingdom had died, just like that. That was impossible. Your Royal Highness. The chief steward and the guard captain rushed up and shook Night Light with all their might. As they shook him, they roared at the top of their lungs. Blood trickled down the corner of Night Light's mouth. He's not breathing. There's no pulse. The chief steward and the chief guard exchanged a look and then stared at Princess Yenling. There were only two people in the room. Night Light was dead, and the murderer was. Princess Yenling ignored these people. She scanned her surroundings coldly and looked up at the person on the roof. Grandpa Ma, I'll leave it to you. Ma Quan frowned slightly and looked a little displeased. He heard the conversation inside. He knew everything. He could understand Princess Yenling's anger. But, Grandpa Ma, help me destroy this mansion. No one is allowed to leave. Princess Yenling gritted her teeth. What if there are backup divine fossils? What if someone leaves with the spiritual fossil stone? I will not allow such a thing to happen. Although Ma Quan was at the Spirit Saint stage, he was still an employer of Prince Yan's residence. He had to listen to Princess Yenling. After all, it was the resources of Lord Yan's residence that supported him back then. Sure, what Night Light had done to the princess was enough to have his whole family destroyed. Feng Wu watched in shock. The Night Light manor was filled with screams, tragic cries, and fire. Princess Yenling was standing on the street outside, staring at the flames that filled the sky. The Night Light residence occupied an entire street, and the next street was Night Owl's residence. At this moment, Night Owl was already alarmed. Night Light's mansion is on fire. Night Owl stared at the chief steward. What happened? The chief steward hurriedly said, there was a commotion in the Night Light residence. Cries kept coming. Some said that Prince Night Light is dead. Night Owl suddenly stood up. Chapter 4027. Chapter 4027. Night Light died. 1. Chapter 4027. Night Light died. 1. Night Owl suddenly stood up from his seat and looked at the chief steward in disbelief. He wanted to run out, but he quickly stopped. Hurry up and investigate. Night Owl ordered anxiously. There might be a reason for this. Could Night Light really have? No, that's impossible. This kid had always been arrogant and domineering. After so many years, who could it be? Thinking of this, Night Owl went straight into the secret room and met up with Lord Jing. You mean that Night Light and Princess Yenling have already gotten into a conflict? Lord Jing thought that his plan was starting to work, so he got up excitedly. Night Owl nodded. Indeed, Lord Jing said, let's go and take a look. The two of them separated and walked out of their respective residences before heading toward Night Light's residence. Princess Yenling had already left. Therefore, when Night Owl and Lord Jing arrived, they saw the ruins. Night Owl fished out a person from the well in the ruins. It was the chief steward of the mansion. In broad daylight, the entire Night Light residence was massacred. Only the chief steward saw that things were getting out of hand and quickly jumped into the well, which was why he survived. Your Royal Highness, Lord Jing, the steward, whose face was half burnt, knelt down and wrapped his arms around their thighs, crying until he almost fainted. What happened? Night Owl and Lord Jing looked at each other with joy in their eyes. Night Light was the biggest obstacle in Night Owl's path to power. Getting rid of him would only be beneficial to Night Owl. Furthermore, they had succeeded in pinning the blame on Night Light. Furthermore, Princess Yenling had actually massacred almost everyone in the Night Light residence in broad daylight. This accusation, did she think that she could get away so easily? There were only two people that Night Owl hated in the Dongsang Kingdom. Now that one was dead, the other wouldn't have an easy time. It was then that the chief steward realized that Night Light and Night Owl were mortal enemies. He couldn't ask Night Owl for help, so he turned to Lord Jing and said, My lord, it was Princess Yenling. She killed Prince Night Light with her own hands, and they wiped out our whole residence. I want to see his Majesty. Please take me to see his Majesty. Lord Jing gave Night Owl a hint, and Night Owl nodded. It was indeed inconvenient for him to handle it, so Lord Jing was the best person for the job. At this moment, there were already a large number of commoners around. They were pointing at the scene in front of them. However, the news of Princess Yin Ling killing Night Light and destroying the Night Light residence in broad daylight had already spread like wildfire in Donglan City. Night Owl, who had returned to the mansion, couldn't help but guffaw. He laughed so hard that tears were about to fall. What incredible move! However, Princess Yin Ling was so arrogant. She actually killed Night Light on the spot. She was so bold. Meanwhile, in the palace. What? The Dongseng King slammed the table and stared at Lord Jing. What did you say? Lord Jing said sadly. Princess Yin Ling killed Night Light and killed more than 400 people in the mansion. She left in broad daylight without hiding anything. This isn't happening. The Dongseng King wouldn't believe it. How is this possible? Princess Yin Ling had come to the Dongseng Kingdom to work with them. How could she dare? Chapter 4028. Chapter 4028. Night Light died, too. Chapter 4028. Night Light died, too. His Majesty, Night Light, is dead. Lord Jing cried and sounded angry. The king was anxious and angry. He shot a look at the eunuch beside him. The chief eunuch hurriedly bowed and said, "I'll go and investigate now." In less than 5 minutes, the eunuch returned. His face was pale, and he stumbled along the way, panting heavily. "Your Majesty, Your Majesty." The eunuch knelt down in front of the Dongseng King and said mournfully, "Prince Night Light is dead. Prince Night Light is dead." "What did you say?" The Dongseng King stared at his most trusted eunuch. The chief eunuch nodded solemnly. The king was shocked. "What happened? Tell me the truth." The chief eunuch said the same thing as Lord Jing. The murderer he was talking about was Princess Yin Ling as well. Princess Yin Ling was really arrogant. She didn't hesitate to kill the prince and destroy the mansion. Moreover, she didn't hide after the killing. She stood in front of the burning mansion and watched. After that, she left. What did that mean? She was clearly extremely arrogant. After hearing the eunuch's words, the Dongseng King clenched his fists and the blue veins on his forehead throbbed. There was dead silence all around. Lord Jing knew that although the king was angry, he was still hesitating and weighing the pros and cons. In the end, he would probably make peace. "But there's no witness," said the Dongseng King. Lord Jing stood up and said seriously, "When I got there, Princess Yin Ling had already left, but I still picked up a man from the well. He's the steward of Prince Night Light. He can testify for this matter." The Dongseng King stared at Lord Jing coldly. Lord Jing pretended not to understand. He lowered his head and looked very loyal. The Dongseng King looked much older. He waved his hand and said, "Bring the witness up." Night Light's chief steward was immediately brought up. The Dongseng King narrowed his eyes dangerously and stared at him warningly. "Tell me what exactly happened." The chief steward prostrated and told the Dongseng King about Princess Yin Ling's attack on the mansion. In the end, he cried and said, "Princess Yin Ling and Prince Night Light were alone in the room. When we barged in, the prince was already on the ground, and Princess Yin Ling was standing with her hands behind her back. She admitted that she was the one who killed him. It's not enough that she killed the prince. She even ordered Senior Ma to kill everyone in the residence. His Majesty, that was Prince Night Light. Why would she dare? Why would she?" The chief steward cried uncontrollably. He felt like his head was going to explode. In his eyes, the royal family was an honorable and dignified existence. But now, Princess Yin Ling had humiliated the entire royal family, telling them that the Dongseng Kingdom was like an ant in her eyes. She could beat and kill anyone she wanted. How humiliating was this? The Dongseng King clenched his fists in anger, his knuckles turning white. However, the old steward cried and added, "Your Majesty, is this still your Dongseng Kingdom? Is this still our Dongseng Kingdom? Are we really not the inferior slaves of the Dian Empire? If they dare to treat our prince like this, then your Majesty." "Shut up." Before the Dongseng King could speak, the eunuch beside him kicked the old steward and sent him flying. "Please calm down, your Majesty. The chief eunuch knelt down and asked for forgiveness. Chapter 4029. Chapter 4029. Arrogant Words 1. Chapter 4029. Arrogant Words 1. At this moment, the Dongsang king was indeed furious. The Dongsang kingdom and the Dian Empire were allies, and the Dian Empire was like a big brother, but that was all. Killing a prince in broad daylight was simply indescribable. Go and arrest that princess, the Dongsang king said to Lord Jing. Lord Jing said, Princess Yanling has a peak spiritual saint. Don't tell me my kingdom doesn't have a peak spiritual saint? Senior brother Min. As soon as the Dongsang king finished speaking, a figure appeared in front of everyone. It was a green-robed, middle-aged man dressed like a Taoist priest. He looked sage-like and quite unapproachable. Senior brother Min, please come with me. The Dongsang king called him senior brother with a sincere gaze. Lord Min nodded at the Dongsang king and walked out without saying anything else. Lord Jing followed him. He couldn't help but mutter inwardly. He had always heard that the Dongsang king had a super expert protecting him, but it turned out to be this senior brother Min. Could he really be the king's senior brother? Then the king's cultivation level. Lord Jing had all kinds of guesses, but he didn't slow down. Just as they were heading to Princess Yanling's residence. That's right. Princess Yanling had made this residence, Prince Yan's residence, just like the one in the Dian Empire. In Prince Yan's residence, Princess Yanling was sitting in her room. She stared at the spiritual fossil stone in her hand with an ashen expression. Just the thought of that bastard nightlight, taking it out from time to time to admire it, made Princess Yanling want to destroy the entire nightlight family. However, she still had some rationality, so she only killed Nightlight to vent her anger. This is simply unacceptable. Princess Yanling paced around the room angrily. As she walked, she said to Ma Quan Quan, Grandpa Ma, I'm still very angry. I can't help but want to kill someone. Ma Quan Quan frowned. She knew the reason for Princess Yanling's anger. To be honest, he was also very angry, but, Princess, we need to think about the big picture. Ma Quan Quan could only say this. The big picture. It's always the big picture. Screw the big picture. I've never been humiliated like this since I was a child. He humiliated me, but he still dared to threaten me and manipulate me. Killing him alone won't be enough. Ma Quan Quan had a headache. Princess, what do you mean? Princess Yanling said, he wasn't born from a rock. I can't kill his father, but I can kill his mother? Yes, that's it. Princess Yanling clapped her hands and said to Ma Quan Quan, Grandpa Ma, please bring me the head of Nightlight's mother. Ma Quan Quan refused this time. Princess, it's not wise to offend Dongsang. Princess Yanling was enraged. What's wrong with that? It's just a petty kingdom. What's wrong with me offending them? What's wrong with me humiliating them? What's wrong with me killing their prince? No one in the Dongsang kingdom can stop me from doing anything. Princess, you're an ambassador now. You can't be willful. Ma Chuan's eyes were cold. So what? If the strengths of both sides are equal, then I will naturally respect them. However, the Dongsang kingdom is only Dian's dog. Why should I give them any respect? It's their honor to be enslaved by me. Oomph. Chapter 4030. Chapter 4030. Arrogant Words 2. Chapter 4030. Arrogant Words 2. This time Ma Quan Quan frowned. He glared at Princess Yanling. Princess, keep these thoughts to yourself in the future. Princess Yanling didn't think much of it. Why should I? I always say what's on my mind. What's the point of hiding it? Princess, is that how you see the Dongsang kingdom? A voice rang out outside. Princess Yanling turned around and saw a familiar face. It was Lord Jing. You? Princess Yanling glanced at Lord Jing. Princess Yanling held grudges against him for the conflict they had. Lord Jing and Master Min came in together. When Lord Jing looked at Princess Yanling, Ma Quan Quan and Master Min exchanged looks. One look, and they knew each other's cultivation level. They were about the same level. Master Min remained unperturbed, but Ma Chuan's stomach lurched. Why did the Dongsang Kingdom bring a peak spiritual saint here? However, Master Min had concealed his energy, so Princess Yanling had no idea how capable he was. Therefore, she gave Lord Jing a contemptuous look. Why, what brings you here? Princess Yanling didn't think much of Lord Jing at all. Lord Jing said coldly, "Don't you know what you've done?" Outside, Feng Wu was thrilled to see them. While served the tea, she stole a glance at Master Min. Although Master Min didn't exert his full power, Feng Wu had a feeling that he was very capable. Who gave you the permission to serve tea? You should know better. You're humiliating the Empire. Princess Yanling scolded Feng Wu. Naturally, Feng Wu feigned a terrified look. Staring at Princess Yanling, Lord Jing smirked. Princess, there's no need to make indirect accusations. What's the point of stalling? Stalling? Princess Yanling turned to stare at Lord Jing. Are you saying that I'm stalling? Who am I to stall for time? Do you think I'll do that for you? Lord Jing gave her a half-smile. Princess Yanling, who do you think you are? And what about the Dongsang Kingdom? Although he had heard Princess Yanling's bragging in the courtyard, he still felt that it wasn't enough. He had to give the silly princess an opportunity to make a fool of herself. Of course, the arrogant Princess Yanling couldn't stand such provocation. She smirked and said, Dian is superior, and the Dongsang Kingdom is inferior. Do you have no self-awareness at all? Do you have to wait for me to say it? Ma Quan stared at her and said sternly, Princess. She could say that in Dian, but she couldn't say it aloud in the Dongsang Kingdom. The Empire was indeed more powerful than the Dongsang Kingdom. But if the Dongsang Kingdom was infuriated, the people would join hands to fight against the Empire. It wouldn't be a good thing. What Princess Yanling didn't know was that her words had been recorded. The one recording, it was none other than Little Phoenix. It was Feng Wu's instruction. Chapter 4031. Chapter 4031. Arrogant Words 3. Chapter 4031. Arrogant Words 3. Little Phoenix gave Feng Wu a proud look, and Feng Wu gave it an approving look. Little Phoenix was even more enthusiastic, and its spiritual fossil stone almost hit Princess Yanling in the face. Ma Quan looked around and said, If word gets out, it won't do the Empire or the Dongsang Kingdom any good. Ma Quan was Lord Jing's nominal master, so of course he had to listen. But Lord Jing's face was livid, and his hands were trembling from agitation. An inferior race? Lord Jing pointed at Princess Yanling. Say that again. Princess Yanling smirked. What? Are you afraid to listen? I'll repeat myself. The Dongsang Kingdom is Princess. Ma Quan bellowed. Meanwhile, Master Min, who was standing next to Lord Jing, exerted all his power, crushing Princess Yanling until she blanched. Only then did he say coldly, There are things you can and can't say. Princess, please think it through. You? Princess Yanling's teeth chattered as she stared at the blurry face. The energy the man gave off was very similar to that of Grandpa Ma. Could he be? Seeing that Princess Yanling was in a lot of pain, Ma Quan blocked her way and stared at Master Min. Master Min stared back at him. Instantly, spiritual essence gathered around them, and the air seemed to fluctuate. As Princess Yanling stumbled back, so did Lord Jing. The two of them had to jump out of the circle to let out a breath of relief. The powerhouse at the peak of the spiritual saint stage was so terrifying that they could barely breathe. Ma Quan frowned at Master Min. Is that how the Dongsang Kingdom treats the Empire? Master Min threw the question back at him. Does Princess Yanling represent the Empire? Ma Quan said, Of course not. Only then did Master Min snort. Good. He then walked toward Princess Yanling. Ma Quan blocked his way. What are you doing? Master Min said, Leave her to me. It was obvious that Master Min was going to interrogate Princess Yanling. No. Princess Yanling turned him down right away. I'm not going anywhere. The Dongsang Kingdom wants to incriminate me, but I won't have it. Lord Jing said, His Majesty wants to see you. Princess Yanling, please come with us. The Dongsang King. The father of the second prince that she had killed. Do I have to see him just because he wants to see me? Don't make me laugh. Princess Yanling smirked. Lord Jing asked, Princess, is it true that you've killed the second prince? Princess Yanling said, That's right. I killed him myself. I won't deny it. Lord Jing said, That's it. Princess, please come with us. Princess Yanling shook her head. Lord Jing smirked. Princess, aren't you supposed to be dauntless? Didn't you say you had the right to kill Prince Nightlight? What now? Are you afraid of telling his father what happened? Infuriated, Princess Yanling smirked. Fine. It's just a meeting with the Dongsang King, isn't it? Why should I be afraid? Because of what Nightlight did. I killed him to get rid of the evil for the Dongsang Kingdom. Lead the way. Princess Yanling followed Lord Jing to the Imperial Palace. The Dongsang King looked down at Princess Yanling. Chapter 4032. Chapter 4032. What are you doing? 1. Chapter 4032. What are you doing? 1. Princess Yanling didn't back down either. The Dongsang King's face was livid. Princess Yanling wasn't in a good mood either. When she came here before, the Dongsang King had been very warm toward her and wouldn't let her just stand there. He would offer her a seat right away. A young eunuch would come up to her with a chair and let her sit on the side. But not this time. The Dongsang King let her stand there. That infuriated Princess Yanling. After exchanging a few cold looks, Princess Yanling spoke first. Your Majesty, are you here to ask about Nightlight? Princess Yanling asked first, but her tone was still very arrogant. The Dongsang King said coldly, Tell me what happened. Fengwu looked at them curiously. As a matter of fact, she had no idea what Princess Yanling saw in her. The princess had let Fengwu go to court with her, but left Shi Jian in the residence. This was the first time Fengwu saw the Dongsang King with her own eyes. While he and Princess Yanling were at daggers drawn, Fengwu stole a glance at the king. The king was younger than she had expected. Compared to Emperor Wu, Fengwu realized that he was more capable, but he didn't have the domineering air of a ruler. It was as if he had been suppressed and compromised all the time. That wasn't what Fengwu imagined of the Dongsang King. A country with a blood contract system should have an iron-blooded ruler, but after seeing the Dongsang King, Fengwu knew that he wasn't tenacious enough because he had compromised too much. Fengwu shook her head inwardly. Emperor Wu had to be living a much more comfortable life. While Fengwu's mind was wandering off, Princess Yanling and the Dongsang King were confronting each other. Princess Yanling walked up the stairs and went up to the Dongsang King. No one in the Dongsang Kingdom had ever dared to do such a thing. Master Min's face was livid, but Lord Jing smirked. If God wanted to destroy someone, he would make them insane first. With Princess Yanling's arrogance, something was bound to happen. Lord Jing was sure of it. Nightlight deserved to die. Princess Yanling smirked. The Dongsang King's face darkened. Of course, I have proof, but why should I show it to you? Princess Yanling stared at the Dongsang King. All you need to know is that Nightlight deserved to die. The Dongsang King was frustrated. That's all I have to say. Believe it or not. Princess Yanling turned to leave after that. Stop. The Dongsang King stared at Princess Yanling. Princess, please show us the evidence before you leave. Princess Yanling turned to look at the Dongsang King. She knew better than anyone else that the Dongsang King needed the support of the Empire, which was why she dared to kill the second prince. Was the Dongsang King going to punish her now? Princess Yanling smirked. Your Majesty, are you going to turn against the Empire now? Are you going to fight the Junwu Empire on your own? The Dongsang King's face was livid, but he fought back his anger. Proof. Princess Yanling asked, What if I don't give you any? The Dongsang King was so angry that he laughed. Princess Yanling smirked. So, will your Majesty make me pay with my own life? Huh. The Dongsang King didn't answer, but it was obvious what he meant. Chapter 4033. Chapter 4033. What are you doing? 2. Chapter 4033. What are you doing? 2. Princess Yinling laughed. Who the hell does he think he is? I can kill him if I want to, but do you think I'll pay with my own life? The Dongsang king still didn't say anything, but Feng Wu could see anger and frustration on his face. Feng Wu wondered if the Dongsang king would regret getting so involved with Dian. Seeing that the Dongsang king was on the verge of exploding and that Ma Quan was giving her a warning look, Princess Yinling smirked. Of course, the Empire treats its allies well. The Dongsang kingdom is our ally, so I have to be reasonable. However, Princess Yinling would never show the spiritual fossil stone to the king. Nightlight offended me, said Princess Yinling arrogantly. The Dongsang king fought back his rage. What did he do? Princess Yinling said. He was peeping at me while I was bathing. What do you think? The Dongsang king said, you don't have any proof. Princess Yinling glared at the Dongsang KLNG impatiently. She had gone to so much trouble to make up the evidence, but the king still wouldn't believe her. Princess Yinling threw a dirty look at him. I've made myself very clear. There's no need for any more proof. Nightlight is dead, and that's the best proof. If he didn't do anything, why would I kill him? That's my explanation. Princess Yinling turned to leave after that. By the way, Princess Yinling suddenly turned to look at the Dongsang king. The second batch of capable cultivators of Dian will be here soon, and they're much more powerful than the first batch. I'm sure Your Majesty can guess how powerful they are. I don't think Your Majesty wants us to defeat the Dongsang kingdom first, right? She marched off after that. The Dongsang king clenched his fists, and his face went stiff, but those who knew him well could tell that he was furious. Your Majesty, are we going to let her leave just like that? Lord Jing frowned at the Dongsang king. If she can kill the second prince so easily, what about the others? Did that mean she could kill anyone as she pleased? The Dongsang king had wanted to take Princess Yinling down, but she had threatened him with what she said in the end. 2 top spiritual saints arrived in the first batch. One was Ma Quan, and the other one went to visit other kingdoms of the continent and hadn't come back yet. The second batch was going to be much more capable. The Dongsang king took a deep breath, glanced at Lord Jing, and said coldly, You can leave now. Your Majesty, said Lord Jing, are we going to let Princess Yinling do whatever she wants to us? Is there really no way to stop her? Everyone in Donglin City saw that she killed the second prince. The Dongsang king stopped him with a wave of his hand. Leave. Under the king's intimidating gaze, Lord Jing finally sighed and left. After the others were gone, the king sat down in the dragon chair. It was his dragon throne and the symbol of his prestige, but a king had just been humiliated by a girl. That was unacceptable. How was he supposed to live with that? Your Majesty is only thinking about the big picture, Master Min said indifferently. Chapter 4034. Chapter 4034. What are you doing? 3. Chapter 4034. What are you doing? 3. The Dongsang king said dejectedly, Senior Brother Min, do you think I'm such a coward as well? Master Min said indifferently, Your Majesty is doing this for the greater good. The Dongsang king shook his head with a wry smile. After a while, he said quietly, Emperor Wu has never felt so aggrieved before, has he? Master Min didn't reply. The Dongsang king didn't seem to need his reply. He smiled bitterly and said, If the Dongsang kingdom hadn't become so involved with the Dian Empire, would we? Well, forget about it. I hope we can let it drop. The Dongsang king was furious over Nightlight's death, but he could endure it when the throne was concerned. But the Dongsang king thought that he would let the matter drop. But what he didn't know was that a pair of invisible hands were stirring things up in Donglin City. It was Feng Wu. However, Feng Wu didn't expect that someone would see everything she did. It was Chu Tianxiao. Chu Tianxiao had noticed Feng Wu because he was living in seclusion in a straw hut. A blurry figure had appeared on the white jade wall in front of his dwelling. Chu Tianxiao was so shocked that his hand trembled. He was the most capable swordsman in the world, and of course, he wouldn't lose his balance. What he saw on the jade wall was the only reason he lost his composure. Chu Tianxiao had been looking for someone, and that was what his master told him to do before he went missing. His junior sister. He didn't know which family his junior sister was born into, but if she was close enough, he would be able to find some clues on the jade wall. As expected, a blurry figure appeared on the wall. That tall man was her junior sister? That was so. However, it was still a lead. Chu Tianxiao was about to start searching when the silhouette on the wall changed again. This time, it was the outline of a teenage girl. Judging by her body shape, she was nowhere near as stunning as his junior sister back then, but it was still a lead. Chu Tianxiao could see what the girl did every day. Yes, he could see it through the jade wall. However, he couldn't move a muscle after he saw the image. I'm semi-paralyzed. That's a sign that I'm possessed, Chu Tianxiao said solemnly. He couldn't leave the valley, so he could only sit there and watch the girl on the wall. The image would change like a camera changing angle. When the girl was alone, he could see things from her point of view. When the girl was with other people, he would see an overview. What Chu Tianxiao saw was that after Feng Wu turned herself into a guard, she snuck into the Jin Manor, faked Jing Wei's death, and then tricked Princess Yanling. She then snuck up on Princess Yanling. Chu Tianxiao watched as Feng Wu, a level 3 spiritual saint, made her way through Donglin City, which was filled with capable cultivators. She was able to throw the Dongseng kingdom into chaos. This girl is so. Chu Tianxiao was speechless. Is she trying to set the Dongseng kingdom up? At the thought of all the capable cultivators in Donglin City, Chu Tianxiao couldn't help but worry. He had forgotten that he was the master teacher of the Dongseng kingdom. For the next few days, Chapter 4035, Chapter 4035, It Wasn't Tea-Night Light. Chapter 4035, It Wasn't Tea-Night Light. In the next few days, Chu Tianxiao was going to see something amazing. Of course, that hadn't happened yet. Feng Wu followed Princess Yanling the whole time. For some unknown reason, Princess Yanling had been treating Feng Wu much better recently. Instead, she had neglected Shi, who used to be her maid. Hence, Feng Wu could now see how things were going with her directing. She realized that things had slowed down a little. After Princess Yanling killed Nightlight and flaunted her power in front of the Dongseng king, she was taken away by Ma Quan. Feng Wu didn't know exactly what Ma Quan had taught her, but judging from how dispirited Princess Yanling was, she suppressed her arrogance. She didn't even mention Nightlight anymore. Feng Wu thought to herself, that won't do. She had come up with a series of traps. What was the point of sticking here? The death of Nightlight wouldn't affect the Dongseng king at all, let alone the entire Dongseng kingdom. She had to keep it going until she got Lord Jing, Night Owl, and the Dongseng kingdom involved. In the end, she might even get her third senior brother involved. That way, she wouldn't have to look for a third senior brother and could just meet him. At that thought, Feng Wu stole a glance at Princess Yanling. Right now, Princess Yanling was reclining on a chaise lounge with a look of distaste on her face and a malicious look in her eyes every now and then. Seeing that Feng Wu had come back with some refreshments, Princess Yanling glanced at Feng Wu and said coldly, "Come here." Feng Wu carefully walked up to her. Staring at Feng Wu, Princess Yanling snorted. "Do you know why I wanted to kill Nightlight?" Feng Wu shook her head. Princess Yanling then asked Shi, "Do you know?" Shi was about to answer when Princess Yanling said indifferently, "Shi, you were on duty outside that day. Tell me in detail. What happened 3 nights ago?" Shi dropped his knees and looked flustered. Seeing how flustered she was, Princess Yanling frowned. "So, Shi shook her head. "I don't know. I really don't." Princess Yanling said coldly, "Since you know what happened that night, tell me the details. Don't worry. Not only won't I kill you, I'll also reward you." Shi shook her head. Princess Yanling suddenly smiled. "Haven't you been trying to serve my brother? He's been asking for you as well. Don't worry. If you help me this time, I'll take you to him. How does that sound? Shi Jian was elated. She almost asked, Princess, is that true? Luckily, she was able to control herself. However, she couldn't hide her joy. Therefore, Feng Wu noticed the contemptuous look on Princess Yanling's face. However, Shi Jian didn't see it because she had lowered her head. Shi Jian was about to speak when Feng Wu spoke first. Princess, I have a stomachache and really need to. Princess Yanling glanced at her and said indifferently, All right, go. Feng Wu left in a hurry. Princess Yanling looked at the Shi Jian and said indifferently, Good. We're alone now. If you have anything to say, just say it. If you say the wrong thing, I promise you that you won't be punished. Shi Jian looked at Princess Yanling in pleasant surprise. Princess, are you sure? Princess Yanling said coldly, Of course I am. Have I ever gone back on my words? Plus, my brother likes you so much. Why should I hurt you? You'll have to work for me after you become his concubine. Shi Jian liked the sound of that. After some thought, she said to Princess Yanling, Yuexin was on duty in the inner room that day, and I was on duty in the outer room. Princess Yanling nodded. She had asked Shi Jian before, but the girl wouldn't say anything and only said that she didn't know. Now that Yanling had promised to give Shi Jian to her brother, Shi Jian could finally tell the truth. Shi Jian, search your memory. I didn't know what happened in the room, but I saw a figure come back with a sack. A ferocious look flickered in Princess Yanling's eyes. Apart from herself, who else could it be? Princess Yanling stared at Shi Jian. Then, Shi Jian said in a trembling voice, Then, I didn't think much of it. I only thought that the person who came back with the sack looked familiar, but I was scared, so I didn't tell anyone. Princess Yanling gritted her teeth. Why didn't you tell anyone? Shi Jian said, If that person went out with a sack over his shoulder, I wouldn't have kept my silence, but that person came in with something over his shoulder. So I thought that since it wasn't stealing, I might as well keep it to myself. But the next day, Sister Yuexin, Shi Jian took a deep breath. I was so scared that I didn't dare to say a word. So, I lied to you when you asked me the first time. Princess Yanling was secretly frustrated. However, in order to force more truth out of Shi Jian, Princess Yanling fought back her rage and stared at the latter. Didn't you say that the man with the sack looked familiar? Who was he? That person was the key. Princess Yanling thought to herself, that person should be on Nightlight's side. If that was the case, she would be able to charge Nightlight with kidnapping. That way, the Dongsang King wouldn't have anything to say. At that thought, the listless Princess Yanling immediately cheered up. Although I still don't know who he is, I'm good at drawing. I could draw a portrait of him. Princess Yanling said, Do it. She had to have some talent to work for Princess Yanling. In less than 5 minutes, Shi Jian had drawn the painting and presented it to Princess Yanling. Princess Yanling narrowed her eyes when she saw the painting. That man, even she found him familiar, let alone the Shi Jian. However, she couldn't remember who it was. Who was he? Where had she met him before? Crossing her hands behind her back, Princess Yanling frowned and walked back and forth into the room. Princess Yanling's eyes suddenly lit up. She had indeed met him in Night Owl's manor. It was him. Princess Yanling immediately locked onto a person. He's a guard of the Jing Manor. Lord Jing has been taken around. Princess Yanling gritted her teeth and stared at the Shi Jian. Are you sure he's the one who brought me back? Shi Jian said in tears. Princess, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. Princess Yanling frowned. It's dark and windy, and everyone has to cover their faces when they commit crimes. Why would someone show their face? Shi Jian said, Princess, the person indeed had a black scarf over his face, but Master Ma arrived in time, and that man panicked. When he jumped over a tree branch, he accidentally lifted the scarf, so I saw his face. What a coincidence! Princess Yanling frowned. Seeing that Princess Yanling was suspicious, Shi Jian burst into tears. Princess, I'm telling the truth. Princess Yanling was neither angry nor anxious. She only said indifferently, I hope that's the case as well. If you can prove that you're telling the truth, I'll reward you. Shi Jian said, I still remember which tree. Shall I show you there? Maybe I could detect something on that branch. Princess Yin-Ling said, lead the way. Soon, Shi Jian led Princess Yin-Ling to an old tree that was so thick that 10 people could wrap their arms around it. Princess, it's this tree, Shi Jian said matter-of-factly. Princess Yin-Ling examined the tree carefully. At first, she couldn't find anything, but soon, she spotted a footprint. It was a man's footprint. Wait a minute. Chapter 4036, Chapter 4036, Guilty Conscience. Chapter 4036, Guilty Conscience. Princess Yin-Ling saw a piece of black cloth hanging on a branch. It was obvious from the man's clothes. She picked it up and sniffed it. Other people wouldn't be able to smell it, but Princess Yin-Ling had a very sharp nose. Just like what Mr. Sakia said, she had a sharper nose than anyone else. It was him. Princess Yin-Ling's pupils contracted, and she was furious. Lord Jing's guards had kidnapped her, while Grandpa Ma was away on some errand. The more Princess Yin-Ling thought about it, the more likely it seemed. Who was Princess Yin-Ling? She was the fiend that would kill the second prince, Nightlight, and all his servants in a fit of rage. Of course, she wouldn't let anyone lie to her, set her up, or use her. To the Jing Manor, Princess Yin-Ling jumped onto her horse first and headed for the Jing Manor. As Princess Yin-Ling's favorite minion at the moment, Feng Wu had to follow her everywhere. Hence, she jumped on her horse and went along to watch the show as well. As the horses galloped along, Princess Yin-Ling's train of thought became clearer and clearer. It had to be Lord Jing. She had only threatened him, but he had done such a thing to her. Not only had he humiliated her, but he had also used her to destroy Nightlight. Nightlight was Night Owl's archenemy. Lord Jing. The more Princess Yin-Ling thought about it, the angrier she became. She cracked her whip. Soon, Princess Yin-Ling arrived at Lord Jing's residence with a group of people. She didn't stop at the door. Instead, she ran straight into the manor. The concierge had met Princess Yin-Ling before and recognized her right away. He shot warning glances at the others, telling them to report to the Lord as soon as possible. He then said to Princess Yin-Ling, Princess, the horses can't gallop into the manor. Please get off. However, Princess Yin-Ling was too angry to care about anything else. She raised her whip. Poor man. He only said one sentence before he was whipped up and sent flying into the air. Other people would be injured at most. They were right outside the main gate, and the crowd was so dense that everyone would notice it. The people on the street were shocked, and the news soon spread out. Princess Yin-Ling used to be so arrogant that she didn't care about the consequences at all. She rushed into the manor. She would run into anyone she met. If anyone tried to stop her, she would whip them. All hell broke loose in the Jing Manor, and people kept calling for help. Lady Jing and her son received the news as well and were on their way. As for Lord Jing, he wasn't home. To be more precise, Lord Jing had arrived at Night Owl's residence through the secret passageway and was drinking with Night Owl. Lord Jing said, Princess Yin-Ling is such a fool. She actually helped us kill your brother. Night Owl gloated as well. That's right. She was quite rough. Lord Jing added, now that we have something on her, we don't have to worry about her. Night Owl said, but she knows our secret. After all, it's a threat. Who knows when she'll lose her mind? If she tells other people about it, well... Lord Jing said confidently, she has killed the second prince. What else can she do? Don't worry. She won't. They were still talking excitedly about the second prince's death when Gong Ming, Night Owl's personal guard, came in. Your Royal Highness, something's wrong. Night Owl frowned. What is it? Gong Ming said. Princess Yin-Ling has broken into the Jing Manor like a crazy person and is killing innocent people. What? Lord Jing dropped his wine glass. He had just said that Princess Yin-Ling wouldn't lose her mind, but why is she out of control again? Lord Jing's face was livid. Let's go have a look. Night Owl urged Lord Jing. Lord Jing told Night Owl, "Go ask His Majesty for help. That crazy woman has Ma Quan Quan with her. We'll be at a disadvantage if we fight her. Go get Master Min." "Yes." Night Owl jumped onto his horse and rode toward the Imperial Palace. Meanwhile, Lord Jing went into the secret tunnel and soon returned to the Jing Manor. Someone was banging on the door when he walked into the study. My lord, my lord." It was Jing Jia, his guard. Lord Jing opened the door as if he had just finished cultivating. Jing Jia said anxiously, "My lord, Princess Yin Ling has lost her mind. She's been asking for you, but you haven't shown up, so she said that she would kill a person every 3 minutes, starting from Lady Jing and the young prince." Lord Jing blanched. "Where is she?" Jing Jia immediately took Lord Jing there. When he arrived at the main hall, he saw Princess Yin Ling holding a dagger and gesturing at the young prince's neck. The younger prince rolled his eyes and almost fainted. Princess Yin Ling sneered at the chubby little boy. "After you die, even if you turn into a ghost, you can't blame me. Your father is to be blamed." His voice was hoarse from all the crying, and he couldn't make a sound. All he could do was tremble, and his eyes were filled with fear. Die! Princess Yin Ling was about to stab the young prince in the throat. "No!" Lady Jing tried to rush over, but Princess Yin Ling kicked her away. "Stop!" Entering the room, Lord Jing glared at Princess Yin Ling and bellowed, "What's wrong with you? Stop it!" It was a mess. Members of the Jing Manor were scattered all over the ground. Many of them were barely breathing and were almost dead. Seeing this, Lord Jing wanted to cut Princess Yin Ling into 1,000 pieces. Princess Yin Ling turned around and smirked when she saw Lord Jing. "Why, I thought you wouldn't come out. I didn't expect to see you here." After that, she threw the scared prince on the ground. Ignoring the pain, the boy hid behind his father. He stared at Princess Yin Ling with a venomous look in his eyes. Princess Yin Ling couldn't care less what the brat thought. She only stared at Lord Jing and said, "Since the master is here, you people can leave now." After throwing the Jing Manor into chaos, Princess Yin Ling had calmed down a little. However, once she calmed down, she would be the most difficult to handle. Lord Jing didn't want his secret to get out, so he waved at them. "You guys can leave now." Lady Jing couldn't wait to see that happen, so she led the young prince and his servants out of the room. Fengwu didn't dare linger in such a dangerous place, so she followed the crowd out. Soon, Princess Yin Ling and Lord Jing were the only ones left in the main hall. Lord Jing stared at Princess Yin Ling and asked coldly, "Princess Yin Ling, what's this about?" Princess Yin Ling sneered at him. "What's it about? Can't you tell?" Lord Jing said angrily, "I saw Princess Yin Ling charge into the manor and beat up many people. As for why, I have no idea. I'll need an explanation from you, Princess Yin Ling, or I'm afraid it won't be settled." "Ha ha!" Princess Yin Ling guffawed. "It won't be settled? Ha ha ha! I'm sorry, but do you think I'm going to let you do whatever you want?" "Princess, what did you say?" Lord Jing stared at her. How many people have you killed?" Princess Yin Ling smirked. "Tell me then, why did I kill them?" Lord Jing gritted his teeth. "Princess, why did you want to kill them?" Chapter 4037. Chapter 4037. I know everything. Chapter 4037. I know everything. Princess Yin Ling asked, "Don't you know?" Lord Jing asked, "Why should I?" Princess Yin Ling sneered at Lord Jing. There was anger, mockery, and utter contempt in her eyes. Under Princess Yin Ling's intimidating gaze, Lord Jing felt a little guilty. However, when he looked up and saw Princess Yin Ling's undisguised contempt, he flared up. "I really can't remember when I offended you to make you take revenge like this. In that case, how about we go to His Majesty and reason with him?" Princess Yin Ling had just destroyed the second prince's residence the day before. Was she really going to destroy the Jing Manor now? Even if she wanted to do that, Ma Quan Quan would stop her. He thought that Princess Yin Ling would be stopped by that, but as soon as he said those words, Princess Yinling smirked. Princess Yinling said, Lord Jing, I see that I've been too polite to you. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? You're inverting justice. Lord Jing frowned. Princess Yinling smirked. If you want to talk to His Majesty so badly, I'll go with you. Let's go. She then turned to leave. That righteous tone frightened Lord Jing. He didn't move. Princess Yinling turned around and gave him a taunting look. What? Lord Jing, are you afraid to go? Lord Jing gritted his teeth. Why should I? I'm leaving. Princess Yinling smirked. Why not? I'd like to know why. How dare you do such a thing to me? Fine, fine. The look made Lord Jing uneasy. Princess, I have no idea what you're talking about. Instead of following his lead, Princess Yinling asked, Don't you have a guard? What's his name? Jingwei. Those words scared the wits out of Lord Jing. How did Princess Yinling know about Jingwei? Lord Jing forced himself to calm down and said indifferently, I do. Princess, what do you want? Princess Yinling gritted her teeth. Bring him here. Lord Jing shook his head. I don't think that'll work. Princess Yinling stared at Lord Jing and asked aggressively, Why not? Lord Jing smiled in pity. Princess, that guard. Well, he had an accident during his cultivation and died because of his cultivation deviation. Princess Yinling stared at Lord Jing with a livid face. Lord Jing only smiled innocently, as if he felt sorry for Jingwei. He even asked, Princess, did this guard offend you? Sigh. Ever since his cultivation went berserk, he was delirious and couldn't control his behavior. If he does anything to offend you, please forgive him for the sake of his death. Princess Yinling was so frustrated. Lord Jing's attitude infuriated Princess Yinling even more. She stared at Lord Jing. Did you kill him to silence him? Lord Jing's stomach lurched. From what Princess Yinling said, Lord Jing was certain that she knew what had happened. Lord Jing's mind went blank. How did Princess Yinling know about this? How much did she know? What evidence did she have? However, Lord Jing was as experienced as he was said to be. He calmed down almost right away and his face went Haktian normal. Lord Jing looked calmly at Princess Yinling and even smiled a little. Lord Jing asked, Princess, are you making things up? Princess Yinling gritted her teeth. You're so scheming. Not only did you kill him to silence him, but you've also made it impossible for me to find any evidence. Even if I find the evidence, you can still insist that the guard did it and that you had nothing to do with it. You made sure it would never be traced back to you. If I insist on getting to the bottom of it, there will be no witness, and the dead have to be respected. I can't say for sure. In the end, I'm going to be accused of being arrogant and despotic. Lord Jing, you're so cunning. In a few words, Princess Yinling had figured out Lord Jing's plan. Lord Jing wasn't offended by the fact that Fengwu had seen through his plan. He only pretended to be innocent. I really don't know what you're talking about. Please leave. Don't make a scene. I'll pretend it never happened. Princess, what happened in the second prince's residence yesterday has already blown up. His Majesty is having a headache over it. Everyone has a temper, and so does a kingdom. Princess, you're so aggressive. I don't think it's the attitude of the Dian Empire. Once His Majesty is really angry, he'll send a letter to the Empire. I don't think it'll do you any good. Princess, please respect yourself. The Dongsang King indeed had a way to deliver the news to Dian, which was left behind by the emissary in case of emergencies. Princess Yinling smirked, as expected of the father of the crown prince. Impressive. She headed for the door after that. The mention of a secret made the usually calm Lord Jing panic a little. Where are you going? He grabbed Princess Yinling's sleeve. Princess Yinling said, Go to court. Those words were so lethal to Lord Jing that he glared at Princess Yinling. Why do you want to go to court? Princess Yinling turned around and gave him a taunting look. Since Lord Jing insists on being innocent, I'll tell His Majesty a story from 18 years ago. Lord Jing panicked a little. He smiled obsequiously at Princess Yinling, there's nothing to tell. Princess, please take a seat. Let's talk. Princess Yin-Ling sneered at Lord Jing. If that's the case, Lord Jing, please hand it over. What is it? Lord Jing asked innocently. Princess Yin-Ling narrowed her eyes. She had been defeated by Lord Jing once, and she wouldn't let it happen again. Princess Yin-Ling asked, Lord Jing, you have the wrong attitude. Lord Jing smiled bitterly. Princess Yin-Ling rose to her feet. Lord Jing grabbed her sleeve. It's just that Prince Nightlight has indeed sent me an object. Of course, he wouldn't let Princess Yin-Ling do whatever she wanted, so he began to take the initiative. Princess Yin-Ling turned around and stared at him with cold eyes. He took out a spiritual fossil stone and handed it to her. That you're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.